Hello, welcome back to Lana. My name is Beast, and today we're back with the fucking phone that we destroyed. Case in point. So it turns out that that's supposed to be a Tsuki choice at that party, but I somehow messed up the choices such that the Tsuki choice didn't show up. Oh well, what can you do about it? Anyways, some of you may have noticed I almost forgot to upload part 4 because part 4 and 5 were both supposed to be released on the same day because I recorded them both on the same day. But I forgot about that. And just as I was about to fall asleep, I get a message. Hey, what the fuck's part 4? And I just sit there like, part 4? Part 4? Didn't I upload it? Or did I accidentally skip a part when numbering? Hold on! Tsuki-Route! So yeah, that's why in the uploads, part 5 came out before part 4. You may just ignore that. Also, something else I wanted to talk about is that recently a certain YouTuber by the name of Super Angie 128, I have no idea how I'm supposed to pronounce that, by the way, uploaded a video called Angie Highlights 40 Notable Visual Novel YouTubers, and I just decided that I should probably, like, tell people about this, especially since I am actually mentioned in this. Like, he actually did mention me in this video, so that's part of the reason why I think it's only fair that I direct people back towards him as a form of thanks. But at the same time, it's just a case of, hey, y'all got no idea who to fucking watch? Now you do. Also, I love how he because he's just going through the playthrough kind of YouTubers quite quickly since he doesn't really watch them himself. But I love the fucking comment he gives about my channel.
Every day. Beast, the Barbarian's VN hole, may not have as many subs as Let's Players I just mentioned, but with those high view counts on his most recent videos, that means he must be doing something right.
Now, all my response to that is like, if you figure out what I'm doing right, please do tell me because I have no fucking clue myself. I'm just sitting here talking to myself. People keep watching and laughing at me. But yeah, basically, go check the dude out. I'm also gonna link the video in the description if I don't forget about it because I 100% wouldn't be surprised if I forgot about how to breathe tomorrow. But yeah, just wanted to talk about that real quick. Aside from that, let's finally shut up the phone. Sup? She is. Can't hear. Can you tell her to be louder? Oh, come on, don't get upset. It was just some banter. I assume that was banter too. Hey! What? 2 seconds? I got lost! I remember the room Tsuki showed me around before, but we were heading to my bedroom for the first time. Actually, more like I didn't care to remember. I'm not supposed to get anywhere in this fucking labyrinth of a mansion. Huh. Luck's on my side, right? Is that? Oh yeah, actually no, we are now back to skipping things. Don't ask for the impossible. I think Akatsuki are already waiting in front of the door. And we can go back to skipping again? Yes, we can. I'll be back. Actually, depending on what it's telling me to choose here. Apparently supposed to check on him. I don't see why I should check on him. But oh well, I guess I will. I'll admit that it would be amusing to catch him in the middle of business. Oh, the length that we will go through just to feel some thrill in our lives. Hey son, I'm going in. Says I knock on the door. No answer from the other side though, so I enter the room. Wait, he's not inside. This room's exactly like mine. It's just as empty. Probably hasn't brought his stuff here yet. No more than 5 minutes have passed since he and I entered our respective rooms. Where the hell did he go to? Can't imagine him going outside. I should just take a walk around the mansion. I remember the path between the dining hall and my room, but apart from that, I know nothing about this place. I loitered around the place for a bit, then returned to my room once more. Got some bad looks from everyone who I happened to come across. Going back would make him pussy out, though, so that's something. Back to skipping. The phone? Are they gonna summon me again or what? Hi, this is Asagiri. I'm on my way right now. If you're part of the problem, hang up now. If you're part of the solution, leave a message detailing your first sexual experience.
その山田くんです。告白されたその日にちょっと強引に部屋に連れて行かれました。最初はとても怖かったんですが、優しくするからって言ってくれたので安心しました。
I was not expecting. I was not expecting an actual like fucking.
これでいいですか?
Oh yeah, man, why should you have to be so serious?
では急ぎリビングに来てください。霊下お嬢様がお出かけになるそうです。
Okay, this mate's kind of amazing and not in a good way, let me tell you.
来たわね。
Back to skipping. Back to skipping. Yeah, once we get back to something I can do. Alright, we're back at the choice. I don't remember what I chose when I first did this, but I think I said let's go crazy. But it's telling me to be rational about it, so I'm going to be rational about it. Okay, let's go home.
嫌そうに言うな。なんなら今以上に厳しくしてもいいのよ。
Is ordering other people around your only redeemable trait or what? Maybe I should just defect already. I say as I place my shoes on the table and make myself comfortable in my chair.
あんた、子供ね。
I respect you better as I was fifth starting from the bottom of promotion, so you better mind your language around me.
下からで自慢するな。
But there were 4 others who scored lower than me. Why shouldn't I?
それはカオルとソンのおかげだろ。あいつらと最終試験受けなかったら34位くらいだったぞ。
That mean that would still be one guy lower than me.
でもそいつは都合で最終試験に挑戦できなかったからなんだけどな。
つまり実質ビリってことね。
そうとも言う。
I want to hear her laughing from the guy. Last I had is a dick in her mouth. Literally last route.
お似合いじゃない霊下。上一番と下一番ってわけね。
A couple of ladies and their respective bodyguards leave the school ready to go home. For an old person, we could easily look like real couples, but reality is quite different. I think this is back to... Yep, it is back to this. Next up should be... Go check on Aya, apparently. Oh, we already had that one chosen now. Then next is go see what she's worried about. Sorry, that's kind of zoned out there. Anyways, this is the cat. Okay. Shave like a normal person. I'm curious about her. Gotta give him a present. And then we get to save for the routes.
出来の悪い子ほど可愛いと言うだろう。
Whoops, because I
お
scrolled
前は
down
一
a
人
bit.
にしても不安
It
はない
acted
が、
like I
カイト
actually
の
had
場合は
scrolled down.
いつも見ていないと心配でな。
Can't expect me to not go for that in actuality. I'm supposed to get I'm curious about it here. Okay, now we're just gotta give him a present left, which is for the birthday, which I don't think is that far away anymore. I don't remember I don't quite remember right now though, so could be wrong. Who knows? How can you expect to be a real maid if you don't do it? Oh, hold on. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, but next time you could try knocking on the door before entering. How can you expect to be a real maid if you don't do that? In fact, how can you even call yourself one if you're anything but a pure-hearted maiden? I remember back when maids were actually called housekeepers. Too bad today's Japanese societal stereotypes have pushed for this important role to be ridiculed to its current state.
セクハラ。そして意味が不明。
In short, fuck off. I don't call for you. You lack all manners or tact.
そんな釣れないこと言うなよ。
I think it's back to skipping. It is back to skipping. I feel like I could honestly just watch this at this point, but I'm not gonna.
そういえば最近思うんです。
Ah, yes, freedom of choice. More like illusion of choice. Okay. But yeah, that means the choice stage is about to happen. Got it. What? Hold on, why did that suddenly stop there? An hour has passed since I started. I've created the ultimate Santa Claus. This puppet has the best of both worlds. The gentleness of Santa and a smile. And with my special touch, it showcases the darkness dwelling within him at the same time. Now it's just a matter of seeing what Tsuki can manage to pull off. This puppet show might turn out better than expected. Huh. I was wondering why she's so silent while working, but as I check her now, I see something I'm not expecting. Damn, talk about a rare Tsuki moment right here. She usually doesn't show any openings when I'm around her. Thought that her job would be pretty easy, but actually it actually has to be a pretty exhausting one, judging from how fast asleep she is right now. She's even fucking drooling. Now that I think about it, I could literally do anything to her right now. Hit her on the head, scribble something on her face, or worse things. I'll let her sleep for a while. I'll return to my Santa and make him even better than what he looks like now.
私は完成。
Wait, you are? I'm still making the 12th weapon for Santa. Oh yeah, now it's back to skipping. I don't know why I felt the need to safety grab the gun again. Never know when you gotta just, you know, good old good. Tsuki. Tsuki! Bring me another one of those puddings! Huh? Huh. Thought she was around just a moment ago. She had disappeared too. Like, you got any clues what Tsuki might
あ
be?
の子なら掃除するって言って出てったけど。
He's going to clean in the middle of the party.
私も止めたんだけどね。どうしても気になるからって。あの子潔癖症だから。
He says
気
so.
になるんだったら行ってみたら。多分今の時間だと2階の清掃してるんじゃないかしら。
Sure, I'll do just that. Need that pudding, my life depends on it. It's just me, or was a geezer staring at me just now? Been searching for a while now. Got to the second floor, but there's no trace of Tsuki being here. This place is way too damn big. There's too many rooms in each floor, so for all I know, Tsuki could be in any one of the hundreds of rooms here. I'll ask that maid carrying some cleaning stuff. With any luck, she might be working with Tsuki right now. Hey, you got a sec?
朝霧様、今はパーティーの最中では？
Never talked to this lass before, but for some reason she knows my name. Just taking a small break from it. Looks like you're cleaning the place up.
はい。それがどうかいたしましたか？
'Twas looking for Tsuki. You know where she could be?
月。
The moment I mentioned her name, she turned her natural smile into a forced one. Something wrong.
いえ、月でしたらそこの角を曲がられた部屋を順に清掃していると思います。
Okay, much appreciated. As I'm about to head to that direction, the maid calls to me once
月
more.
と親しくされているのですか？
What you
朝
mean?
霧様のお世話をしてると聞きますし。
I wouldn't say we're close in the sense you're implying. In fact, I think she ain't nothing but a pain in the ass.
そうですか。
Seems like she wanted to say something else, but she didn't look like she was going to, so I went my way after that short exchange. As I turned to the right at the end of the corridor and checked the rooms, I eventually find her. Yo,
カイト様、
why are you being so formal? It's just you and me.
何かご用ですか？
Reika told me you went back to cleaning in the middle of the party, so I came to check on you.
私はメイドですから。カイト様とは立場が違いますので。
Got me there, you never struck me as someone who cared about your status or anything in particular, though.
ご用がなければお引き取りを。
Something happened? You're acting weird.
何もありません。掃除中は誰にも邪魔されたくないだけですから。
That's the case, then I'll fuck off back to the dining hall.
そうしてください。あのサンタクロース。
You mean the one of the puppet show?
本当の話を元にしたっておっしゃってましたが、本当ですか？
Curious to know?
サンタ嫌いですから。
Some of it based on real events, but not all of it. I'd say half the story, more or less. It's from a story I heard from another guy ages ago.
そうですか。
Anyway, break the leg.
はい。
Time to get to the bottom of depressing trauma. I fucked up big time. It's Sunday afternoon. I found myself at the scene of a crime, one that I perpetrated. I'm looking at the broken pieces of what was once a vase, now scattered on the floor. Wonder how much this will cost. I know for a fact that it's definitely outrageously expensive at the very least. I have 3 ways to go about this. The first one is to come out clean and apologize for the fuck up. The second would be to play dumb and feign ignorance if I'm ever asked about what happened. The last one would involve me trying to repair this with super glue somehow. Third choice it is. It's the one that'll get me in the least amount of trouble. Okay, then I'll have to get all the pieces first and foremost. Get a couple of plastic bags and stash every piece of the vase I can find in them. Some of the pieces got stuck in the broom, but I'm in a rush, so I disposed of them along with the dustpan and the broom itself. Okay, this should be enough. Wait, I forgot about one thing. I have to leave something here so people don't get suspicious if they don't see the vase. Gotta replace it with something else, but what? Okay, that'll do. I just have to return to my room now, fix the vase, and I can kiss this case goodbye. Gotta say, I'm quite excited to do this. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna do this. I dumped the bag's contents onto my table. Looking at all these fragments for 3 seconds has decreased my motivation by 100-fold. I remember them being this small. I was too focused on picking them up without having anyone to see me. There have to be over 1,000 pieces here. I have to do this or I'm fucked. Let's start with the big pieces. First thing I need to do is divide the pieces by their size. The next thing I'll do is assemble together all of the big pieces that I can. I'll mark the pieces with a Sharpie so I don't forget which is which. That way whenever I have to fix this bitch I won't have many issues recognizing all of the pieces. After an hour figuring out how the pieces connected to each other, I started to see some light at the end of the tunnel. It might be fixable after all. What I gotta do now is actually fix the damn vase. But wait, I don't have any sort of glue to paste this together with. How can I find something like that though? Most importantly, how can I get my hands on one without raising suspicion? Never mind then, I'm truly fucked. I don't think. There must be a way of pasting these together without the need of super glue. I remember some bananas adorning the table at the dining hall. Could use those. And ironically, they could be my saving grace. I arrive at the dining hall, dessert as I would have expected, and find what I'm looking for in plentiful numbers along with other varied fruits. I'll use 10 of them here. I brought the big pieces of the vase here so I can try and see if my theory works. Good thing I came around at this hour. I knew for a fact no one will come. Time to test the bananas. However, I need something else before starting. Can't just grind them and expect to paste anything. It'll probably be in the kitchen. Good thing I'm doing this before dinner time. Where's the oven? Where's the oven? There you are. Then stuff all of the bananas inside the program is so it bakes them for a while. Once I'm done baking the bananas, I see that they've released some sort of juice from them. Nice. I then clean up and return to the dining hall with my miracle juice and a remainder of the bananas. Gotta hurry up. I coat the edges of the broken vases with the banana juice I extracted from them and try and see if it works. The most important thing for me here is to remember how the pieces connected and how fast I can glue them together once more. Wish I had more time. Would have used a ricist glue. It's more effective than people may think. I'm in a rush now though, so I'll have to make do with what I have. Once I'm done gluing the pieces together, I stuff the vase into the freezer and wait for the juice to do its magic. And it's done. Here's the vase once more. Look closely. There are parts of it that are missing, which are from the small pieces that didn't care to glue together until lack of time. That's all I can do for the time being. I'll put it back where it was. No one will bother to look at it closely since they're used to seeing it all the time. It gets suspicious if I just decide to hide the vase, but I'm 80% sure that no one will give a damn once I return this to where it was. In the end, this took quite a bit of time, but I return it to where it was as soon as possible. Fuck! As I return to the vase's rightful place, I see Tsuki where I placed my dummy vase. She's staring at it. Please tell me she hasn't seen through my masterful ruse. It's too early to cast judgment just yet. Maybe she's just hanging there and I'm imagining things. Try to approach her and see if I can avoid raising her suspicion just in case. What are you doing here? I'll just play it cool, she won't find
こ
out.
こに飾っていた壺がなくなってる。
Fuck, she found out already. Oh, but isn't that a vase though? What are you talking about? Says I pointed my clever
ど
replacement.
う見ても壺には見えない。
Oh, come on, it's a vase. Look
これ
close.
は花瓶。
In a way, it's like a vase, you gotta admit that.
花瓶。
Flower pot could still be considered a relative of your usual vase. To me, that's a vase.
だとしても変。誰がこんなこと。
Hey, why are you looking at me like that?
一番可能性の高い人物から疑うのは当然のこと。
Okay, what's your proof? What do you base this accusation from?
壺がなくなってるだけなら、カイトを疑う可能性は少しだけ低かった。だけど、代わりに花瓶を置かれてると、ふざけてるようにしか見えないから。
Trying to say that I wasn't even trying?
そう。それに、なんで両手が後ろに？
Before she tries to peek and see, I twist myself so she doesn't.
動かないで。
Tsuki and I then engage in a battle of wits in which I constantly place myself in front of her so she can't see my back.
だから動かないで。
Sure, I'll do that whenever you stay still.
何か見られたくないものでも持ってるの？
A magician never reveals their secret to Tsuki. It's part of the fun.
全然意味がわからない。
Then asked me to do the equivalent of showing my magical secrets.
とにかくもう何もない。
Whoosh! Before she can see the vase, I skillfully move it out of her sight. Instead of annoying me, you could go and try to fight the vase if this ain't the one you're saying it is. The vase you're looking for could be anywhere in this mansion.
これは室内用の花瓶。
You know every nook and cranny of this place. You know where this pot could be from.
これは2階。つまり、カイトの部屋なんかにも置いてある花瓶。
Damn, it sounds like you're trying to imply that I deliberately placed it there. Go to my room then, check if I still have a flower pot there.
妙に自信ありげ。
Of course I am. An innocent man has nothing to
じゃあ
fear.
確かめてくる。
Go ahead. Idiot, I took the vase from a random empty room. I saw this coming from a mile away. When Tsuki leaves to check my room and make sure no one's around, and change the flower pot with the vase. Nice. Just have to return the pot to where it was and it'll be like nothing happened. Just perfect. Mission accomplished. No witnesses, no evidence left behind. I'll go and check on the vase. Oh shit. As I head to where I left the vase, I noticed Tsuki approaching, so I hide to avoid detection. Look at the rookie detective over there. The vase is too much for her. He's staring at the vase. No, why she's so fussy about it. The vase is back, so why is she staring at it so much? Well, so why am I hiding again? I'm innocent. The innocent don't need to hide. I'll go and say hi again. It's still there.
カイト、
What is it? Oh, look, the vase is back. Good to see.
確かに戻ってる。
Then that should be the end of it. The vase looks fine to me.
これのどこが無事か。
Huh?
割れてるのを無理に修繕してる。
What are you on about? I don't see anything wrong with it.
一目瞭然。他に言葉はいらないと思う。
After all the work I've poured into it, I was expecting some praise. Okay, maybe I could have glued it better. It could have been a little better. Some cracks, chip parts here and there. I think it's pretty good considering the dire circumstances I was in. I was hoping she didn't see this face often so she wouldn't notice the difference seeing it now. You're definitely imagining things.
この壺は私のお気に入りだからわかる。
Quite suspicious of you to actually like one of the Nikaido's properties so much.
誰かが誤って壺を割った。
Oh, you're just grasping at straws.
どう考えてもそう。しかも修繕して元の場所に戻したってことは自分が悪いって分かってる証拠。卑劣な人間をのさばらすわけにはいかない。
Find it commendable that you want justice to be served, but just because it was a bad deed doesn't mean that whoever broke the vase did so with ill intent. He or she could have just left it broken there and pretend like nothing
な
happened.
んで犯人の肩を持つか。
It's pure conjecture, my dear Tsuki.
今なら犯人探すのを手伝って。
Okay, let's calm down. What if I or Reika were the ones who broke it? Really think lowly servants like us would be able to try and expose them for what they
あ
did?
のお二人が隠したりするなんてありえない。
In this world, there are no certainties nor impossibilities.
私が今ここで車にひかれることはない。
Maybe a car entered the estate, jumped off some rocks, and ended up crashing into the second floor. Who knows? Just go up. This case is too much for you.
後ろめたいことがある？
Me? Guilty? Don't know what you're talking
可能
about.
性はゼロじゃない。
True, though it's not impossible. I can't say for certain that the possibility is close to zero. Don't get anywhere by doubting me.
つまり霊下お嬢様や綾お嬢様を疑うのもお門違い。
Sophistry was a sport you to win the golden medal.
お互い様。
Oh well, then do as you please. Don't go and cry for help. If Genzo's the one who broke the vase in the end, he might be the last boss of this adventure after all.
大丈夫。ゲームオーバーだから。
She gives me a thumbs up. What are you giving me a thumbs up for again?
ララララララーン。カイトが仲間になった。
I thought I was the protagonist of this story, not you.
そこは譲れない。
Ever seen an RPG where there's a maid protagonist with a bodyguard and a party of adventures? Yeah, me neither.
早速犯人を探しに行く。
That day, Tsuki departed from her hometown, determined to find her culprit. One she'd never catch. Culprit was one of her party members all along, after all. Bad end.
ところで、カイトはどこで何してたか？
Me? Well, you know, stuff.
いろいろって？
I was in my room.
他には？
Nah, not really. Didn't do anything worthy of mentioning today. You're cross-examining me again. You ain't gonna get anywhere by doing
目
that.
的地を決める参考にと思って。
Just trust your gut instincts.
じゃあ行こうか、犯人。
Sure, wait, I'm not a criminal.
間違えた間違えた。
Can anyone slip like that? How dare she distrust her own party member? Okay, she has a point to do so, but still.
それじゃあ刑務所に行こう。
Sounds good. Hey, wait, why even going there?
正気を取り戻すかと思って。
I've never been senile.
それで、いい加減白状したらどうか。
What crime?
素直に謝ることが大切。それができないとダメ。
And okay, holy
こん
moly!
なことするのはカイトしかいない。
Really now? Jig is up.
これ、何で接着したか。
I did a perfect job, admit it.
ひどすぎる。子供の工作かと思った。
I think I'm quite the master artist myself, but Tsuki will call me out for derailing the conversation if I get mad at her, so I'll shut up. But she said hurts,
そ
okay?
れで、接着剤なんて持ってなかったから。
Bananas.
ウキ？
Keep it together, Tsuki.
あれ接着剤？
If you bake them, you can extract their juice, which can be used to paste things together. Come on, Tsuki, everyone knows this.
そんなこと基礎じゃない。くだらないことは知ってるのに、テストの点数はボロボロ。
Piss off. But yeah, I use those to glue it. I then turn
さっ
around.
さと帰ろうとするな。
fuck. I was hoping she'd be distracted enough to let me go, damn it. But well, run, do with me as you please, I don't care anymore.
首。
Wait, really? Please let it be true.
やっぱりやめた。
Wait, what? Why?
ちょっと嬉しそうだったから。
Should have my emotions better.
掃除の手伝い50年分。
That's a long fucking
い
time.
くらの壺と思ってるか。
You gotta remind you, rent the hourly wage is 10 million yen. The cost is probably nothing to me.
貧乏人はよく途方もない金額を口にする。1000万円とか。もうその典型。
Damn, Tsuki, sorry, I'm too poor for you. Then again, compared to the Nikkaidos, pretty much everyone's pretty much a street bigger.
カイトからは特に貧乏臭がする。
And you have a big fat fucking mouth to talk all that shit about me. You ain't rich either, so I'd shut up if I were you. You're just another lowly maid working for these rich assholes.
貯蓄家だから。
And might I ask how much you have saved right now?
秘密。
What, I bet you only have like 200 yen to your name.
手数料じゃないんだから。
Then spit it out.
耳。貸す。
Sure. She tells me the amount and, now you're kidding, right? That what? Ah, ow!
声に出したら耳打ちした意味がない。
She's 1 year younger than me, and she's that fucking loaded already, Jesus Christ. Damn, being a maid sounds like a good fucking deal to me.
メイドになってみる？もちろんこの衣装着て。
Sure, if I want to look like a deviant, it'll definitely do the trick.
え？
Why are you giving me that look?
生粋の変態かと思って。
If anything, she's good at talking shit, that's for sure. Wearing maid clothes wouldn't make me a deviant.
何一人で突っ込んでるか。気持ち悪い。
Shut your trap already.
見える。
I was about to bash her head, but she evades my attack. No need to make your dodge any more dramatic.
メイドに手を出すなんて。やっぱり変態。
I was trying my luck at bashing her skull, idiot.
とりあえず、一大事だと気づいて。これ1億円。
100 million? Sheesh.
肩叩きしても何十年かかることやら。
Just stay quiet about this. No one has to know.
なるほど。
Say I'd do it for me. Actually, no, I might shut your mouth or else.
旦那様にちょっと話ができたので行きます。
I told you to keep quiet, not to frame me right after I forced you to.
事実は事実。
Okay, I will admit that 100 million sounds like big cash. Yeah, sure.
その通り。
But I bet that for the Nikaido, that's literally chump change. Like what 100 yen would be for us.
どんな計算か。
I read my mouth a little too much.
50円くらいだと。
Oh. Which means that there's no need for you nor I to report such a matter of trifling importance to them. Hopefully this logical conclusion helped you understand me. Now I expect you to be quiet about it.
1億円盗めば泥棒。1円でも泥棒。
Okay, Miss Goody Two Shoes, and what am I supposed to do? Expect me to go to the geezer and sincerely apologize to him, huh?
逆ギレは見苦しい。
I could give a shit. I've been found out already, so whatever happens, happens. And what do you suppose will happen to me if you snitch on me? Feel about that,
普
genius?
通ならクビ。
Okay, so you did give us some thought. Genzo hates my ass, so that's the most likely
それ
scenario.
はちょっと困る。
Wait, are you serious right now? There's no way she... Right? For the love of...
ないない。
Obviously. Fine, you win. I'll do what has to be done.
私もついていく。
No, piss off.
逃げるかもしれないから。
I won't go back to you cleaning. I then look at the broom that she left on the floor, and then back at her. You could also use a vacuum like everyone else on this planet does
ほう
nowadays.
きと掃除機にはそれぞれの使い方があるから。素人にはわからないだろうけど。
Right, forget about that one. Anyway, time to get yelled at for an hour by the old
クビ
man.
にはならないように。
You only say that because you care about Reika, not me.
その辺理解しててよかった。
Yeah, I already know you don't give a damn about what happens to me.
今の時間、庭先に出ていらっしゃるかも。
Never took him for a plant lover.
庭のベンチで本を読まれるのが好きなので、
Ah, so he likes reading. Cool.
くれぐれも失礼のないように。
I'll do my
その
best.
自信が猛烈に心配。
Just like Tsuki told me, I find the old man sitting on one of the front garden's benches. Yeah, you're spot on. He's completely concentrated on his book, looking at it with intent. Kind of interested in what book he's into, considering I have a bookworm myself too. Maybe he's into Playboy magazines? There's no way, right? Hey, what's shit, I have to mind my language. If I fuck up here, it would encourage him to kick me out of here before I even tell him what happened. But master? Saying that word is enough to send chills down my spine. Ah, the moment I call for him, he turns his murderous gaze towards me. He's already mad at me, and I haven't even said anything yet. Okay, here's the plan. I start with a harmless and casual conversation, then casually drop the vase, if you catch my drift. I need to soothe his rage before I drop the bomb, otherwise he'll definitely send me packing. You gotta take it nice and easy, slow and steady, Kaita. But whether we're having today, eh? But normal people out there must be busting their asses working for a crappy pay, and here you are, as if nothing outside was of any importance. You ever work, master? Here you are, reading a book while ignoring the cries of help from the outside. You're one of a kind and not in a good way. Jesus fucking Christ, what is wrong with you, Kaito? His mouth is wide open as he looks at me dumbfounded. He then curls one of his fists. Perfect, that's what I wanted to see. My flowery words and masterful delivery have managed to move his heart enough. Surely he's not as upset as he once was.
貴様は私が気持ちよく読書しているのを邪魔しに来たのか。
Okay, no, mine is pretty fucking mad. Not really,
綺麗な空気が濁るだろう。用がないなら立ち去ってもらいたい。
I actually have some business, or, well, something to report more
報
like.
告？貴様が？
Yep,
ボディーガードをやめたいなら歓迎さ。
it ain't that.
なら私は用はない。
He then returns to reading his book. As he does, I peek to see what he's reading. As Hanako laid down, fully bare for him to see, Taichi gazed upon her, appreciating her nudity, still as a rock. An erotic novel, really?
ミステリーだ。
He then shows me the book's cover so I can see the
気
title.
が散って集中できんから早く行け。
Hey, you're reading the Naniwa detective series. I didn't know the latest volume was out already.
知りもしないでよく言う。
You're speaking with someone who's read all the books from Sakashita Killer, from the Sakashita Killer up to the first part of Ankle in the Snow, mind you.
なんだと？貴様がこれを。
Yeah, I binged them last year. I didn't know a new volume came out recently.
活字を読む許容性を持っていたか。
Yeah, I like reading, dude. I mean, master. I'm so fucking jealous of him right now. Does he even know how many sleepless nights I've had while waiting for the second part of Ankle in the Snow to be released?
本当に読んでいるのか。
Yeah, based on what I've read so far, I think the killer is gonna be Uegusa.
私と同じか。
Dude, gee, I mean, master.
12日の夜に一人でスキーをしにゲレンデに出た時の行動が怪しくてな。
Yeah, you get it. I find it pretty suspicious that the writer decided against giving that part the attention it deserves.
それに、なぜ貴様と盛り上がらねばならん。
Let me the book when you're done.
なんだと？
You hurt me, can you?
本の一冊くらい自分で買え。
I ain't got cash. Wouldn't it be better for you to lend it to me once you're done?
何？
I mean, I would greatly appreciate it if you could find it in your heart to lend it
確
to
か
me.
に物を意味なく買う必要はないが。貴様がここに来た要件は何だ？この小説を貸してくれと言いに来たわけじゃあるまい。
Basically, I've broken a vase on the second floor.
2階の壺？
I heard it cost like 100 million.
なるほど。それで私のところへ来たのか。貴様のような輩なら黙っていると思っていた。
Rude, if I gotta say the truth, then I come out with it.
その潔さは褒めよ
Of course you do.
う。が、態度は気に入らん。許せないことではないが、罰を与えることにしよ
Come on, I'm sure you could let this slide, dude.
う。おっさ！
Ah, shit, I fucked up.
新しい壺を買ってこい。
は？
割れた壺の代わりになるもの
How many times I gotta tell you that I'm broke?
だ。分かっておるわ。金は私が出すから買ってこい。
What kind of replacement do you even want?
お前に任せる。100円の壺でも1億の壺でも構わん。ただし、いい壺を買ってこい。
Okay, so he wants an expensive one again, got it.
言っておくが、高いものを買えばいいというものじゃない。
Does it read minds or something?
この屋敷に合ういい壺を買うんだ。私の行きつけの店が繁華街にある。もちろん店の主人に聞いたりするな。あくまでも貴様の個人のセンスで買ってこい。
And why do you even want that?
一人メイドを連れて行け。言いつけを守っているかどうかチェックさせる。
What a floaty bold man.
貴様の担当しているメイドは誰だ？
I suppose Tsuki.
月か。
He did a 180 real quick there. The moment he heard her name, he suddenly looks more serious than ever.
まあ、問題はあるまい。月を連れて行ってくるがいい。
Is he testing me right now? I wish I knew what's going on in his head. So yeah, you gotta come with me to get that vase of his.
想像してない展開になってた。
And what were you expecting to happen?
首。
Oh, suck a dick.
正直お断りだけど、旦那様の命令は絶対。仕方がないからついていく。
You drive me up the wall sometimes, you know that. So what, are we gonna go there walking?
当たり前。車で行く身分じゃない。
Sucks to be a slave to others.
話むほど雇われてない。
You don't give a shit considering you're nothing but their slave, poker face. You even have any hobbies you like, any trace of individuality at
これ
all?
でも多趣味。
Okay, for example?
どうして答える必要があるのか教えてほしい。
Because I ask?
どうして聞きたいか。
Because I'm interested in knowing what you
ど
like?
うして知りたい。
Why is this and why is that? I'm just trying to see if you really have hobbies as you
ど
claim.
うして確かめるか。
What the fuck's your problem, I swear? Sure, you don't want to answer. Got
Manga.
it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Wasn't expecting manga, but
趣
hey.
味がないと思われそうだったから仕方なく。読書って言った方がいい？
Let's say that from the beginning. Reading manga isn't reading. I love reading actual books, and you kind of triggered me a little, not gonna lie.
本は本。
Manga are for kids. They're merely pastimes for people our age. Something that will amuse you for a bit, nothing else. Man wants to be
ま
murdered.
るで自分は漫画じゃないみたい。
Stop treating me like
ファ
a
ンタジーな
child.
小説萌え系とか言われてる。
I have my reading sprees of those. I like novels which show the difference between people's living standards of
はい、
living.
嘘。
Not
抜
lying.
きになって否定するところが怪しい。
Can I not be whiny about being called out like this? Okay, so you like manga. Sure, anything else? Video
掃
games?
除。
That's your job, not your hobby. Did you have loads of hobbies? The well run dry already?
バー
Oh,
ドウォッチング。
wait, you're kidding,
キ
right?
ビキビ歩く。私はまだ仕事があるから。
Okay, jeez. We walk past the stores located in the business district. I start to realize that most of them deal with luxury items. Probably because most of the rich people who attend that Eno live nearby. There's tons of places selling things like expensive jewelry for hundreds of millions. I'm sure robbers would love to get into places like this, but I can't because the security's so tight. It's not like crimes don't happen, but those that do are carried out by professionals who won't get tripped up by extra security. In the end, the police are great when it comes to investigating small-scale robberies, but when it comes to criminal organizations carrying out big operations, they're practically useless. Look at the guys who tried to kidnap Renka, for example. Those people were imbeciles for trying that in the middle of the business district in broad daylight. But then again, maybe they were counting on that. They could know that the police rely on criminals not attempting anything in broad daylight. In reality, police presence isn't as big as they think it is. It doesn't matter much right now. The police caught them already, so whatever they were thinking about doesn't matter to me.
ここです。
He says while stopping in front of a certain place. An antique shop. Doesn't look like a big place either, judging by what I'm seeing. No place a rich dude would frequent either. It ain't shiny or anything like that. It's called Royal Flush. At least that's how I'm reading it. You're telling me they sell expensive shit in here?
中には数億円する大皿なんかも扱ってるお店です。
Ah, that's a lot of cash. If I was a robber, I'd definitely rob this place. There's quite the amount of plates and vases lining the outside without any supervision. Don't have price tags. Ever bring these back home with us?
いいわけないでしょう。
Why not? I bet the owner wouldn't care. It'd be like bringing home one of them free shitty shopped calendars.
カレンダーと一緒にしないでください。
Oh look, there's something written on them. Don't touch the exhibition items, please.
おそらく盗難対策です。
Oh, so these are imitations or something. I see the point of this anyway. There's already secret police patrolling the area and countless cameras around. No, they want to keep this image of an upscale establishment or whatever, but there's no way those signs are aimed at robbers. Let's just take one of these display plates or whatever and go back. Even better, let's just lift the rest of these and resell them.
だからダメです。バカですか。刑務所に直行します。
Come on, no one will notice if only one's missing. Then take one of the plates displayed beside me, but the moment I lift it, the alarm rings strongly enough to pierce my ears. Told you.
バカ。
Security guard caught us seconds after this happened, obviously.
申し訳ありません。うちの者がご迷惑をおかけしました。
My bad.
ふんぞり返って言ってもダメ。
Ah, hey, don't push my head down, you!
深く頭を下げる。もう地面に額を叩きつけるくらいに。
いやいや、お気になさらず。いつも二階堂様にはごひいきにしていただいてますので。
本当に申し訳ありませんでした。
I'll be careful next time. The moment the owner of the place looks away for 2 seconds, Tsuki takes the opportunity to kick
謝
me.
る。
I'm sorry, okay,
それで
sheesh!
今日はどのようなご用件で？
はい。屋敷に飾るものをいただきに来ました。
おほう、それは。ごひいきにどうも。では、玄三様もこちらへ。
今日はこちらのカイト様がお買い上げになります。
随分とお若いようですが、はて。玄三様には息子様はいらっしゃいませんし。
二階堂でボディーガードをしている方です。
ボディーガードの方がお買い上げになるのですか？
It's a long
ご
story.
ゆっくりとご覧ください。
Sure, I want that hanging scroll.
ちゃんと目利きしてください。即決すぎます。それに買いに来たのは壺です。
Oh, right. Okay, I want that one then.
ですからしっかりと目利きしてください。
What? You scared that I could be getting a cheap imitation or something?
失礼ですよ、カイト様。
面白い方ですな、このお方は。
Everything here looks good. Why can't I just randomly choose something and be done with it?
カイト様。
確かに良いものはどうとっても本質は変わりません。
Told you. Everything at the mansion is expensive and exclusive, so I just have to get another one of them fancy vases and we'll be all set. The owner then places attention on the vase I just pointed at while
しか
smiling.
し、すべての方が良いと判断されるとも限りません。骨董というものは奥が深い。本当に良いものというのは値段や銘柄だけで決まるものではないんですよ。もしも買うものを自由に選ぶ権利があられるのであれば、ぜひあなたが惹かれるものをお買い上げください。
Some I actually like. And then look around. The old man never specified anything besides bringing back a vase of my choosing. So from there, anything goes. When you have an eye for antiques, everything looks the same to me. It sounds fun to leave this to my intuition, so sure, I'll give it a go. Not like I'm gonna have any other chance to buy something as expensive as these things in my life. It's like becoming independent from your parents in a way, right?
全然違います。
I was hoping she'd give me a joke in return, guess not. Whatever, I just have to choose one of them and these and move on. The owner of this place is an idiot too. He could have just recommended me something expensive and no one would know. Following any recommendation of his. Fine, I'll take this seriously for a bit. Now that I'm looking closely, each vase has its own size, shape, and their own little details as well. All of them have been handmade, that's for sure. They're not manufactured by a machine. Can't find these at a normal supermarket, for example. That much is obvious. These have their own special charm about them. Each vase is its own world, though they're obviously high-quality items. I can feel... what do I call it? Each one has their own presence, if you know what I mean. It is the charm that handmade vases give off. Not like I know anything about vases, but still. I like this one with the crane. I've heard tales about those birds being able to live for thousands of
それ
years.
は白鳥です。
目利き以前の問題でしたね。
Shut it. Crane, swan, what's the fucking difference anyway? I've only read things about those birds in books, never seen them in my life. Oh, and how about this one with the cherry tree petals drawn onto it? What makes me feel the morning breeze of an April
そ
day.
れはモミジです。
やっぱりカイト様には無理でしょうか。
I was just kidding. It was just, felt dimwit.
ここで笑いを取りに行く理由は一つもありません。
Fine! Then how about this vase? Its shape is weird, but I kinda like it.
真剣に考えてください。
I'm being serious.
すみません、常識がなくて。
いえ。しかし、彼は骨董に関して知識はありませんよね。
完璧なほどにありません。
それにしてはなかなかに良いものを選ばれる。うちに展示してある壺はおよそ100点ですが、先ほどまでの3品すべてが5本に入るほどの品ですよ。
ただの偶然です。
Tsuki and the owner are talking about something while I'm occupied looking at the vases. They've been doing nothing but make fun of me, assholes. Oh, with the many vases in front of me, one catches my attention. It's one that could easily be missed, mainly because it doesn't have any fancy swans or autumn leaves on it. There's something about it that just draws me in, though. It has to be this one.
Huh?
Tsuki then looks at the vase I chose with a surprised look on her face.
もう少し鮮やかな方がいいと思います。
I know, but I still think this is the one.
そんな適当な。
いやはや偶然じゃないということでしょうか。
What do you mean?
素晴らしい壺を選ばれましたな。
こちらの壺がですか？
Like Tsuki's just over here like, how is any of this possible? This should not be happening. I'm confused.
今は亡き人間国宝鉄斎が最後に残した壺です。
What's that
知
game?
らなくても無理はありません。もう何十年も前のお話ですから。
地味な壺にしか見えません。
Oh, well, I don't get it very well, but I assume that if this belonged to that important guy, it means that it must be crazy
価値
expensive.
にすれば数億となります。
Wow. That'd be so many bills today. If I stacked them on top of each other, I wouldn't be able to see the top of the pyramid.
さすがにそれほどの買い物となると、一度旦那様に確認を取らなければいけません。
結構です。どうぞタダでお持ちください。
ただで？
もともとそれは父が鉄斎氏からいただいたものです。これだけの壺がある中で彼がこの壺に惹かれたのです。今まで数多くの陶芸を愛する方がこちらへ訪れましたが、誰一人その壺を所望されませんでした。これも何かの出会いかもしれません。
しかし、
Sure, if you say you're okay with it, then I'm gonna take this.
カイト様。
He said he's okay giving this to us. What's wrong with that?
数億円の価値があるものをやすやすと。
Okay, come here, Tsuki. Let me hear you for a second. I then forced her to come to where I am. It can't cost that much. He probably was moved because I saw some value in it, and that's why he's giving it away.
そうは思いませんけど。
It obviously can't cost more than a couple thousand, so yeah, I'm getting this one.
ですが、
Okay, dude, we made our minds. Wrap this one up. Wrap this one
わ
for
かりま
us.
した。しばらくお待ちください。
He then takes the vase and has its
強
backstory.
引すぎます。
Don't sweat it too much. He said he was okay with
本
this.
当に価値があるものだったらどうするんですか？
Then we'll be the luckiest fuckers on the planet.
そういう気がしました。
こちらが品物になります。
He says while handing me quite the showy wooden box containing the vase inside, I assume.
ありがとうございます。
いえいえ、今後ともごひいきにお願いします。
He then bows his head and escorts us out of the
ありがとう
establishment.
ございました。またお越しくださいませ。
Nice, we got ourselves a cool vase and we didn't spend a single buck.
確かにその通りですが、本当に良かったのでしょうか？
You should worry less about the price and more about the fact that I was able to choose something that I liked. I did what the master told me.
確かにそうですけど。
She doesn't look all too happy about this. How about we get some drinks over at that place before returning
寄
home?
り道はいけません。
Weren't forced to come back before a specific time. Loosen up a bit.
仕事があります。
Just 30 minutes.
まあ、それくらいなら。
Nice. Looks like we got a plan.
私はお金を持っていません。カイト様は持っていますか？
Leave it to me. I then stuffed my hand into my pocket. That's why I have this 10,000 yen bill with me for moments like these. By the way, I don't feel the bill. Where is it? Oh shit, I left it inside my room's drawer. Probably left it there so it wouldn't fall out of my pocket randomly or something. You have a debit card. Yeah, we could use that.
壺を買うために必要でしたから。
You won't notice.
ダメです。
Just a little bit. No one's gonna notice if we spend a couple of
これ
thousand.
は私たちが使用で使っていいお金ではありません。
We'll be fine if we never find out. If they never find out about it.
カードには記録が残ります。
We'll just bullshit our way out of it. Tsuki shakes her head once
常
more.
識で考えてください。
Fuck me,
そ
man.
れに、この辺りのお店で出される料理よりも、屋敷で食べる料理の方がはるかに素晴らしいです。
Thank the chef and the quality of the food for that. Everything in the state is just first class. I bet the food they serve at these family restaurants would be shit in
屋
comparison.
敷で食べてください。
Okay, those places might not serve food as fancy as the food back home, but I wouldn't mind tasting the common folk, what common folk eat sometimes.
残念ですが、お金がないなら無理です。
But aren't you aching to have a date with
む
me?
しろそれを避けたいという。
Well, bitch.
こうやって男の人と二人きりで歩いていると、山田くんに誤解されてしまいます。
Yamada.
私の彼氏です。汚いです。病気になります。
She then starts wiping off my spit as fast as she can. You have a boyfriend? That's
もう
news.
2年くらい交際してます。
I didn't know that either.
教えてませんから。
Okay, who is he and what does he do? Where did you meet him?
どうして答えなければいけないんですか？
I'm curious about a person who's mad enough to date you.
絶対に教えません。
Damn, it sounds suspicious. Is he like a clerk at some place? She kicks me. I wasn't trying to get you mad. Quit it.
人の彼氏をバカにするからです。
Does Reckon know this Yamada guy?
はい、知ってます。
How am I?
聞いても無駄です。口止めしてますから。
Like a shitty maid like you can force Reckon to shut a trap?
大丈夫で。聞きたいなら聞いてみてください。
Pretty confident about it, isn't she? Next time I see Aya, I'll ask her instead. Reckon might be tough like Tsuki claims, but I bet I can make Aya spill the beans for sure.
残念ながら、綾お嬢様は詳しく知りません。
Why?
これ以上答えると、山田くんの職業がバレてしまいます。
Says Yamada's a guy that is somehow close to Reika, then quite difficult to picture, if I'm being honest. I'll ask Reika if he's real or not once I'm back. Gotta say, being together for 2 years is already quite the accomplishment.
羨ましいか。
Nah, not at all.
私がフリーだと思ってたか。
Thought you were available, but I never intended to hit it with you in the first place.
身も心も山田くんのものだから。
Nobody asked, but thanks for letting me know. Or at least this guy must love means to be able to endure being with her. Here's hoping for the best for you, Yamada. I'll pray for you to not go insane. Return home, the sun's already setting. Genzo's not sitting at the bench anymore. Don't tell me that I have to go and look for him to show him the vase.
旦那様へのご報告も本来であればカイト様が行うべきですが、
She looks at her phone.
今はもうお仕事中ですので、この壺を飾っていただければお部屋にお戻りになって結構です。
I can get behind that. I don't have it in me to see his face again. Once was enough for today.
では、私はこれで。
Guess I'll leave this where it's supposed to be. Once I arrive at the vase's rightful place, I open the box and leave the new vase there. And I wonder what happened if this place of an earthquake ever happened. I think as I gaze at my new acquisition, it matches perfectly with the place. So I chose well in the end.
それが新しい壺？
Huh? How do you know? Someone told you?
お父様がカイトに壺を買いに行かせたって言ったから。どれどれ？
She then takes a look at the vase. Not like you'll ever understand the greatness of the one I chose.
見事な壺じゃない。
Why I say what? You can't be serious right now. It looks like a plain normal vase. There's no way you could see anything special in it.
模様はないけど、焼き具合と形。とても洗練されてるわね。
So she does have an eye for these things. Now I'm kind of mad, not gonna
こ
lie.
れ、あんたが一人で選んだの？
Of course I did.
やるじゃない。
You may call me Kaito the Great Appraiser from now on.
調子に乗るな。
Whoa, hey, don't get too insane there. I'm tired, so I'll just go back to my room.
ご苦労様。
Alright, before I go, I wanted to ask you something.
何？
You know a guy called Yamada?
何よ、突然。
If you don't know who he is, then it's fine. I was just curious. I knew Tsuki was bullshitting me. Trying to hide that nobody like her likes her.
あ
Sad.
んたの言う山田くんが誰か知らないけど、私が知ってる山田って名前は一人しか浮かばないわ。月が昔から付き合ってる男の名字。
Wait, really?
もしかして月に聞いたの？
Yeah, she said she was going out with this Yamada
あ
guy.
んた月に告白でもしたの？
Don't get it twisted, I'd never do that. He doesn't believe me for a second.
諦めなさい。山田くんには勝てないから。
Okay, now now is the part where you tell me that Yamada's actually a cat or dog and we all laugh.
ああ、普通の子よ。あんたと同い年。
Fuck me. Wait, oh no, I get it. He's dead, isn't he?
5体満足よ。
You have to be shitting me right now. You're telling me that Tsuki has an actual boyfriend. Okay, what can you tell me about him?
それは教えられないわね。
Why?
このことが広まるといろいろ面倒だからよ。メイドって仕事は神社の巫女に近い存在なの。もちろん最近じゃそんなことはないんだけど、まだうちはね。
Whoops, that was... My fucking cursor was all the way down there for some fucking reason. Also, I need to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So they only hire virgins or what?
年齢を重ねれば結婚や出産をするメイドもこの屋敷にはいるけど、月はまだ早いから。
True, she's around my age, if I remember correctly. So she wants to keep her relationships a secret? Okay.
そういうこと。だから静かに見守ってあげて。あんたは失恋になるけど。
Rika, for the love of all things holy, I don't have feelings for her. I got the memo in any case. I'll stop poking fun at her because of it. I'll return to my room
月か
now.
ら聞いたの。
You asked me the same thing less than a minute ago. Yes, she did.
そう。
So, weirdo. Who else was I supposed to get the info from? Isn't it supposed to be a secret?
それもそうね。その秘密をあんたに話したから驚いただけ。
Sounds reasonable. Looks like I managed to peer into her secret, but I can't do anything about it
気が向いた
either.
ら山田くんをここに呼んであげる。
Can't wait to see who that guy is. I'll have to ask him how much Tsuki exhausts him mentally. I'm legitimately curious. I'm to catch sight of Tsuki today. As per usual, all she does around here is cleaning. Anyone would think of her as being someone outstanding if they saw her like this, but I don't. Being honest, I don't know any maids who could do better than her. She pays an absurd amount of attention to detail when it comes to her work. So we are currently in Renka's head. Random mental image that just came up every time we enter another character's POV. It's like they're just standing there doing what they think. Suddenly, I'm just like come up from the side. I'm sorry, don't worry about it. Don't mind me. And just all a la cartoon. Just like grab the ear, just stretch it open, just like step inside. Okay, I'm ready to go. We can continue. Saying it only makes my heart ache. Is it really okay to leave things as
霊
they
界
are?
嬢様？月。
While I was thinking about her situation, I didn't notice that she was now in front of me. She tilts her head a bit,
あな
puzzled.
たが屋敷に来て随分と経つわね。はい。何？変な顔して。珍しいお話をされるものですから。ちょっと思い出してただけ。それよりもあいつとはうまくいってる？カイト様のことでしょうか。そうよ。あいつ変わってるでしょ。とても変わってます。今までうちにはいなかったタイプだから さすがのあなたも戸惑ってるんじゃないかと思って。
割と平気です。
仲良さそうだものね。
そんなことありません。
そう？私、あなたがあれほど饒舌だったとは知らなかったわよ。
Whenever I see you talking with him, I notice that Tsuki's always in good spirits.
あれはカイト様がおしゃべりだからです。
あいつ、意外と喋らないわよ。
He may give off the impression that he's outgoing, but whenever him and I return home walking, we barely cross
ひょっ
words.
としたら、月に春が来たのかと思って、たまには二人で外に出かけてもいいのよ。
ご冗談を。
ごめんなさい。
Shouldn't have said that. Thought that after seeing those two be so friendly with each other, Muna could have led to something else, but clearly I was wrong about
私
that.
はあまり外出するのが好きではありませんから。
そうだったわね。
今日の霊下お嬢様は少し変です。
それはあんたでしょ？
え？
山田のこと。
あ、カイト様、やっぱり聞かれたんですね。
どんなやつか興味津々だったわ。
明日ベッドに画鋲を仕込みます。
あんたが自分のことを話すなんてね。なんで話したの？
わかりません。ただ、線を引きたかったんだと思います。
線？
カイト様は狼みたいですから。彼氏がいることを教えておかないと危ないと思いまして。
一応、私のボディーガードよ。
決して悪口を言うつもりでは。
わかってる。
Tsuki has changed as of late. It's quite obvious, but I didn't notice until now. Kaito's the reason for this change of hers, without a doubt. Tsuki hasn't realized this yet, but she's subconsciously pushing him away as a result. She's scared of change, but she's not aware of this just
そろ
yet.
そろ寝るわ。
はい。おやすみなさいませ。
I return to my room. I see Tsuki returning to her duties, but she'll continue working until the early hours of the
山
morning.
田。
I don't know if Kaito's feeling Tsuki or not. Maybe he doesn't, but in the future he might develop those. He does fall in love with her
山田
though.
には勝てないわね。
He's not only good looking, but he's also rich, kind, and strong. Kaito's no better than him in any department. Okay, never mind. Maybe they're somewhat equal when it comes to
カイ
looks.
トと山田。
The day ever comes when the two of them face off, I bet things won't turn out very nicely. I'd be lying if I said I'm not excited when the time comes. Even if it even does. Then again, Kaito's never been one to fear anyone or anything. He's more than fine trampling over whatever stands in his way for his own sake. He'd have a chance at overcoming that barrier between him and Tsuki after all.
先のことはわからないわね。
I shouldn't think too much about it or I'll grow senile. After heaving a small sigh, I returned to my room to sleep.
また面倒な課題が出たよな。
Same, I fucking hate it.
私はそうでもないが。
Remember you made me your observation subject last time? The three of us are returning to our regular classes after finishing our special training class. Ever since we became second years at Reno, we've been mostly around our clients all the time, but once a month we have bodyguard training classes. Today was that day, and at that class we were given some peculiar notebooks. Now I would have expected to see these psychology notebooks ever again. This assignment last year as well. Basically, we gotta choose someone, whoever we want, and psychoanalyze them. It's like a diary of sorts, but psychoanalyzing people ain't easy, let me tell you. You have to study every single movement your subject to study does, their patterns, everything. You gotta write everything down in this notebook. Every single thing.
前回まで真面目にやってなかったのが失敗だったな。
俺とカイトで単純な考察してたもんな。
Yep. Yuki and I tried psychoanalyzing each other, but in the end, we didn't really go very deep into describing ourselves. I'm pretty sure we won't be able to pull off any shenanigans this year either, mainly because we were given a new rule that wasn't in last year's assignment. That rule is, well, the fact that we can't psychoanalyze other bodyguards, and we can't psychoanalyze other ladies either. That's a pain in the ass that I don't know what is. Why are you gonna attempt to observe Kaoru?
私は神崎様の祖父にするつもりだ。
Oh, poor lass. Don't know who that guy is, but I bet he's some sort of big fish for sure. He's a fucking moron. Yeah, he's a big fish, but he's also a moron, is what I'm saying. What about you?
そこら辺のお姉ちゃん。
Yeah, sure, you're gonna meet them once and then what? How are you gonna see them after that?
いつでも会えるように連絡先をキープ。
What if they don't give you their numbers?
こっそり後をつけるとか。
Trying to psychoanalyze people, not stalk girls.
カイトこそどうするんだ？これ白紙で提出するといろいろまずいだろうし。
True, I'll just find someone worthy of my attention. But like, whatever I write will be any more interesting than an old person's opinion. But well, whatever I come up with will just be a boring essay. I really like to avoid boring people if possible. There has to be someone that is at the very least mildly interesting. Some people mind, but at the same time I don't. Oh, dang it. The only one I can think of is, I'll psychoanalyze one of the estate's maids. Should be an interesting one to study for sure.
メイド？そんなの単純じゃね？
私もそう思う。
If she was actually a normal maid, then I'd understand where both of them were coming from. There's actually a maid in the estate that's quite the oddball, you'd be surprised.
どんな？
She speaks politely in front of others, but talks shit whenever I'm around. She's violent and doesn't hesitate to demonstrate that whenever necessary, and she's a master of sneaking behind you. She's also pretty good at making a fool out of others.
確かにすごそうだが、よくわからないな。
That's why I'm choosing her for this assignment, you dingus. At the very least, I'll have it easier than you.
楽？
I bet Kanzuki's Gramps is quite the important guy.
もちろんだ。
You really think you'll be able to follow him at every moment?
それは確かに。
Since I'm choosing a maid, I don't even have to worry about being her noticing me or not.
メイドでも十分気遣う必要はあると思
I
う
feel
ぞ。
like that sentence makes sense. I'll have to have it easier than you in any case. Not like I have to mind myself around her of all
なる
people.
ほど。俺もメイドさんにしようかな。
The due date for the assignment is 10 days starting from the day. Gotta think about how I'm gonna title my work. Let me see. Okay, I got it. It's gotta be exposing the true colors of the mysterious maid. Bet it'll keep the examiner engaged. Once classes end, I return home with Reika as per usual, and once we do, I'll make my move. What's the time? Let me see. Take my phone to check. It's 4:30 p.m. right now. Let's check the time and then focus my attention on the subject to study, Tsuki. She's currently at the front garden, cleaning the place with a broom. Okay. Bet she'll keep at it until the high hours of the night. Might be somewhat problematic if she saw me trying to tailor at the garden. Gotta get out of here. I'm sure that she won't notice me studying her every move from here. Decide to do it from my very own room. Still more than an hour left before the sun starts to go down, though. I observe her for quite a while, but I don't see any changes worthy of being mentioned. I should have expected this, but still. Watching her cleaning is just so boring, but there's nothing else I can do. Plus, I need to be closer to her if I really want to study her movement patterns and small quirks. If I keep this up, I can already see how bland my report would end up being. Day X, month X, no clouds in sight. Today, Tsuki the maid has been cleaning in the front garden. Day X, month X, no clouds in sight. Today, Tsuki the maid has been cleaning the corridor. Day X, month X, cloudy day. Today, Tsuki the maid has been cleaning while doing a headstand. Her underwear is white as per usual, but I noticed a stain today. Yeah, that sounds like what a child would write. Leaving that stupid shit aside, how amusing would it be if she suddenly spontaneously combusted, though? She could run around the house naked for a change, maybe. Like that would ever happen. Life's too boring for that. I'm supposed to catch every single small detail and change about the person, but Tsuki is never one that openly shows any change at all. So it's turning out to be quite the task. I'm so sleepy. I want to go to sleep so badly. Shake my head to feel less drowsy. I have to make this look legitimate, or it'll be too easy to tell that I didn't give a shit about it. The instructors we have are very demanding, and if they think we did a lousy job, they'll personally come to see if the person we psychoanalyze is indeed as we described in our notebooks. Sounds like I'm joking, but they would do just that. Sadaka comes to this place quite a bit as well, so it'll be easier than ever for an instructor to verify with him if I took this seriously or not. I could always say fucking and ignore this whole thing, but dealing with the aftermath would be more annoying than doing the assignment itself, so that's why I chose to do this. Doesn't make this any less boring. Fucking hate boring moments like these. I should probably take this seriously, so I'll focus once again. Tsuki's still diligently cleaning, no visible changes. Watching her from my room is a pain in the ass. First because I mostly see her from her back, so I can't see her facial expression while she's working, making my job harder. I wonder what she could be thinking about right now as she swings her broom away. I don't think I'm bad at reading others. I think I'm pretty much grasped with it. Breakup, Aya, Genzo, Son, Kaoru, and many others with ease. But Tsuki, she's definitely built different. The closest comparison I can make is with Sadaka. Sadaka's been at his job many years now, and he knows how to hide his feelings and intentions from others because of it. It's hard to read him. He wears sunglasses all the time, so I can't peer into his eyes, intentionally making it difficult to get a read on him. Tsuki feels like she's wearing invisible sunglasses of her own, if you catch my drift. In fact, I'd say that it's as if she's wearing an invisible mask at all times. Sometimes shows emotions, but I just know there's something deeper she's not showing to anyone else. She legitimately appears as though she's wearing a full face cover. Where did she learn to do that shit? Can't believe she was born knowing how to hide all emotion. She had to learn it somehow. Some people are born with a better ability to hide themselves from others, but her skill to be able to completely avoid detection while sneaking is something totally different. She told me that she was raised at a special institution to train assassins. I'd believe it. Still, I think I'm confirming this to be the case. At least I do know that she's capable of what she's capable of physically. She's weaker than the average woman of her age. Of that, I'm sure. The conclusion I can draw is that some turn of events made her learn everything she knows by instinct, or someone else did. That's the most plausible scenario at hand. When people are cornered like rats, that's when they show what they're truly capable of. Being faced with trying situations time and time again could have forced her to learn those skills eventually. This is something I've had to go through, so I know what I'm talking about. She's been working as a maid for this family for God knows how many years now, though, so I can't imagine her being confronted by any difficult moments in her life. Still doesn't explain why it's so difficult for me to detect her presence. She just seems to amaze me, that's for sure. She's a perfect subject for this assignment. She has a poker face, but that doesn't mean that she's expressionless. Everyone has a weakness, and she too must have hers. That's what I have to look into. Take a deep breath. It's okay. Quite surprised at myself right now. I never thought I'd be taking this subject seriously, despite how boring it actually is. And I'm not doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because I'm genuinely curious about Tsuki and her psyche. Sounds like the kind of excuse a parent would give after getting caught stalking someone. Whatever, moving on. I'm not giving this so much thought in any case. I should take a more simple approach to all of this. I always tell myself to take things easy, so it's like being impatient about something. I was trying to run away from whatever it is that I'm afraid of. She doesn't show emotion because she's bad at it. Has to be that. Maybe it's because of her line of work. Can't imagine the job of a maid being more intense than a bodyguard's, but it's still quite the job anyway. Gotta work your ass and make whoever employs you feel comfortable with both your work and your presence. It's quite obvious why she's so neutral. Maids that show their emotions are depicted as less desirable compared to the calm and composed ones, I think. That thought alone may be why I can't read Tsuki very well. There's no other possible explanation I can find at the moment. Just overthinking it. Gotta clear my mind and focus on Tsuki once more. These moves of hers while she cleans are pretty nice, gotta say. I'm a complete novice when it comes to cleaning, but even I know that she's not wasting a single movement, no matter... And no wonder she can manage this entire place without breaking a sweat. Wait, something's happening. She turns around, at the moment she does, I quickly draw the curtains. She knows me watching her. I'd find a new place to watch her from then. Damn it all. Find a new place to continue my observation. She turns around a couple of times, but she doesn't manage to find me. So only she ought to read. Her senses are as keen as well. Impressive. Maybe she worked as a ninja before me coming to this place. I wasn't able to get anything else after watching her clean the garden, so I decided to study her surroundings a little bit. I gotta be like a detective, though. I can't possibly go to her and ask questions directly. Through the auto deduction, I must be able to tell everything about it without involving myself directly. The easiest way to get to know her better would be by tailing her and listening to the usual conversations she has with other people. So once I make sure Tsuki has finished her cleaning duties outside and she's returned to the mansion, I begin following her, ensuring that I won't be found out. I feel like a stalker right now, considering my test subjects were nothing but guys up until now. This feels quite different. I should treat Tsuki just like another guy. Okay, she went into some random room. Pretty sure that's where all my cleaning stuff is kept. So I assume she's gonna clean inside the mansion now. It'll be dinner time soon, so I assume she'll take it easy until then. Actually, I just realized that Tsuki seldom speaks to other maids or estate servants at all. We've seen the maids talk with each other, but definitely to her. It's because of her position as the head maid. Maybe she can't show any weakness considering of her position. Itchy. She has to keep up appearances, I suppose. Not like she has anything respectable for us to protect from others, but still. Yeah, there she is again. She's carrying a broom. Look at that smile on her face. She's so fucking happy. It's been around 20 minutes since she started cleaning inside the mansion. Finally, a maid has approached her. She's talking to Tsuki about something. Unfortunately, I can't make their conversation out. They're almost whispering, so it's pretty difficult to tell. I guess they're talking about something serious. Can't see much of a change in their mood, judging by their poker faces. If I was able to tell what they were talking about, they ended their conversation, unfortunately. The maid is coming this way. I don't want her to find me, so I hide in an empty room beside me. Don't close the door completely, though. That way I can see the maid's face. Her mouth moved a little bit. Couldn't hear what she said very well, but I could read her lips well enough to guess what it was. I don't know why she would say that, though. Was she talking about something unrelated to Tsuki, or... I think she said was filthy girl. Would you choose to psychoanalyze in the end?
僕か。僕は旦那様だ。
You're brave, I'll give you that much.
とはいえ、前回までのように四六時中考察することはできないがな。普段考察できる部分で調べていくつもりだ。
So we're gonna take it easy.
貴様と一緒にするな。
He shouts while skewering his wiener with his fork.
僕は、少ない情報だ。
Don't talk while you eat, you pig.
時間をかければ可能な考察に高い成果は得られない。
素晴らしい考えだな、高則。
ありがとうございます。
自ら少ない情報で挑む心意気が素晴らしい。
主席ともなれば当然です。どこかの落ちこぼれとは姿勢が違いますから。
You know who he's talking about, Satake?
そうだな。ところで、落ちこぼれは誰にするか決めたのか。
Well, hey, what the hell? Isn't he a little too old to be joking like that? I chose Tsuki.
月まさか、あのメイド
Incidentally, Tsuki is at the dining hall's entrance, watching everyone eat as she stands there. Yep, the one and only.
やめておけ、カイト。
Why is he trying to give me friendly advice now of all times? I know you hate her.
僕だけじゃないさ。
What do you mean?
今の発言は良くないな。
すみません。少し口が過ぎました。とにかくやめておけ。
What does he mean,
そんな
Satake?
ことを聞いてどうする？第一、お前は月を考察するんだろう。
She is,
だ
sir.
ったら自分で知るんだ。高則の言うことが全てとは限らんしな。
So what Sun said is true. Satake didn't deny anything. Looks like Tsuki has some haters around here. Seems like it's not only Sun that doesn't like her. I know that she's not the most polite whenever she's around me, but I'm more than well aware that she always has top-notch behavior around others. Figured people would like her because of that. What that maid said before, filthy girl. That was meant for Tsuki then. Still something I don't understand
Hi.
though.
私たちの発言から探っているのか？
Oh, really?
カイト程度の考察能力じゃ、満足な成果は得られないだろうな。前回は、西郡祐樹の日常を描いた観察日記だったな。
Who knows?
あれでよく教官が単位をくれたものだ。僕なら間違いなく単位を与えてない。
今回は私が採点するから、そんな手抜きをしても通らんからな。
I know, okay, jeez. I actually chose someone I could seriously analyze this time because of that. The more I look into her, the more I realize that I find more questions than answers. Most of the servants finish eating and leave the dining hall soon enough. The only ones left are myself and several bodyguards. Tsuki is still standing near the entrance, waiting for us to finish our food. Same as usual. At this rate, my report's going to be empty. Finish eating and leave the hall myself.
何か
Ah, you got a problem?
チラチラこっち見てたから。
Nah, I haven't. Aren't you being a little too narcissistic?
間違いなく見てた。
I never looked at you that way.
見てたことは認めるか？
No. I was just looking at that sorry excuse for chest you have.
それは見てたっていう。しかもエロス。
Sure, let's leave it at that. Say, pass. Shit. I just stole some glances and she even noticed. Fuck me. Didn't even make it obvious. How was she able to tell? This analysis is gonna be harder than I thought. Shit, somewhat easier. It's open.
起きてましたか？
What do you want?
旦那様からのお届け物です。
Old man. She hands me a couple of novels. One of them is a book I've been wanting to read for a while. Damn, that man actually lent it to me.
汚すな。だそうです。
Yeah, sure. Thanks. What's the other book, though? Judging by the cover, I can tell it's another novel, but the title is To See a Trace. Never heard of this
パ
one.
ス代わりにそれも読んでおけ。だそうです。
I never heard of this one, but I like reading, so sure, why not? I'll give it a try. And then take the books from her.
では、これで失礼します。
Sure, Saya. Looks like I'm pulling an all-nighter tonight with these. I can read the other book later, but the second part of Anklin's slow. Nah, dude, that's going down today. I can still remember those days as if they happened just yesterday. Remember that small world I lived in, putrid, bloody, violent, and filthy. I was born and molded by that world. Sincerely hope I never go back there. At the same time, though, I can't help but feel like going back there for the sake of what I'd call the good old times. I left some things unfinished back there, after all. I left her behind, the only person I ever allowed to tread into my territory. I remember holding her tiny hand, the only sign that she was still alive beside me. I left that place without notice. Never had the chance to ever say goodbye to her. I wish I could go back and at the very least say sorry to her. If only I could go back. Ugh. Took my time before I lifted myself from bed. So sleepy. Spent almost the entirety of the night reading, so no wonder. I wish I had 8 more hours of sleep to sleep some more. The novel was good though. So I'll say it was worth it. It was legitimately very interesting, so much so that I basically pulled an all-nighter. Read it in a single go. I didn't even put the book down until I was completely finished. Gotta thank Genzo for lending me the book and Tsuki for bringing it to me yesterday. That was a nice read indeed. Can't wait to see the geezer's face when I tell him that I've read it in a single night. I'll read the other one once I'm back from the academy today. We're arriving at the academy as per usual. Classes will start soon. We were entering the campus when suddenly we heard shouts coming from the inside.
何と言えばわかるの？講習には気を使ってくださる？何？この高い声。
Reika and I look at each other for a moment and quickly focus on where the voice is coming from. A lady is giving quite the scolding to, I assume, is her bodyguard. He's pretty short and overweight too. Who is she?
隣のクラスのなんとか教科よ。
Can't you remember her surname at the very least?
興味ないもの。あんたこそ。あそこで小さくなってるボディーガードは知ってるの？
No clue.
踏まないでくださいよ、お嬢様。
I do know him, by the way. He's Raito Okamoto. We were in the same promotion, if it wasn't obvious.
知ってるんじゃない。
Never got along with him, but I guess we're
強
acquaintances.
化のボディーガードなんてかわいそうね。
I think I can get an idea of what you mean just by looking at what's going on. She clearly doesn't care that half of the academy's not looking at the scene as she keeps stumping Raita over and over. Whatever he did, it must have been something really bad for her to get
気
like
にな
that.
るなら言ってみる？
Okay with that?
別に構わないわよ。私が何かするわけじゃないし。
Raita may not be my friend or anything like that. But just like any other person here, he does have some dignity, so at the very least I should help him out. Aside from Kaoru Yuki and Son, I didn't make any more friends in my promotion either way. Lake and I head towards them. She's still perplexed by what's going on, but she's also curious about the commotion as well. You okay, Raita? What the fuck's with the goddamn headset thing? Also, I accidentally cut him off. I feel like I'm rescuing a puppy from the streets right now, legit.
ちょっと気持ち悪い。
Come on, Reika, give him a break or two. Can't be that upsetting to look at.
ごめんなさい。ゲテモノは見慣れてないから。
She's not wrong, but she should definitely take a chill pill.
何あなた。
I'm his friend, I mean acquaintance. By acquaintance, I mean that I know him just by face. We aren't related in any way. So he and I are basically strangers to each other, if I had to say.
待ってよ。どうしてひどいこと言うんだよ。
You are kinda gross.
あんたも思ってんじゃないの。あら、あなたは一国堂さんじゃなくて？あれ？声が遅れてくるよ。私は二階堂よ。
Damn, Reika didn't take you for a shitty comedian.
一国堂も二階堂も同じじゃなくて？初対面でこんなこと言うのも失礼だけど、言わせて。あんた嫌い。別にあなたに嫌われても構わなくてよ。
I could light a fire with the amount of sparks these two are generating with their murderous glares. I need to do something, or things will turn south real quickly. Come on, stand up. Says I extend my left hand to help him out.
ありがとう。
He wipes off his tears and snot with his left hand and extends it moments after to try and help himself up, but right before he does so, I retreat my hand.
ガイド君。
Use your other hand! Extend my right hand this time.
うん。
He then starts wiping his tears and snot with his other hand. My god. Just like before, I retreat my hand once more.
なんで手を引っ込めるんだよ。
My instincts force me to, plus I'd rather not catch an illness with those filthy hands of yours.
なんだよそれ。手を貸してくれよ。
You don't need help to stand up, come on.
腰が抜けちゃって無理なんだよ。
Ah! In the end, I give up and help him stand up. I'm too nice sometimes, I swear.
何してくれてますの、そこの男。今は私の説教中なんですのよ。
I was just helping him stand, sheesh woman. To kicking him until he stood up, but I was helping him, I swear.
痛い痛い。
蹴り飛ばしてるだけに見えるのだけれど。
It's tough love.
友達のすることじゃないわね。
So why are you mad at him?
なんですの、その無礼な口の利き方。悪いわね。しつけがなってなくて。
Reika apologized, but she sure seems happy about me supposedly disrespecting the Kyoko woman.
礼儀がなってないボディーガード。肥満で口が臭くて気持ち悪いボディーガード。
Okay, so she's mad at him because Raita's an obese-smelling, revolting mess. Okay, it's
今
gross.
年の殿方にはろくなのがいませんわね。そう？今年はマシな方だと思うけど。あなた、私に恨みでもありますの？別に。
There they go again, looking like they want to kill each other. Looks like you've got your plate quite full, huh?
カイト君も大変そうだね。
Can you stop laughing like that? It's really fucking unsettling.
潰れたカエルはひどいよ。
I shouldn't have talked to him.
この方のせいで怒る気も失せましたわ。行くわよ、ライタ。
はい。
気に食わない二人組ね。
Raita too? Ouch.
結構資産家って話だけど、あんな落ちこぼれがボディーガードじゃ思いやられるわね。
You talk about Raita?
あの太ったボディーガードよ。同世同期で一番下なんでしょ。
Can't blame me for thinking that. Aren't ladies given our scores and training results before you choose your bodyguard for your second year?
見てないわよ。興味なかったんだから。
Makes sense.
体格とか口調とか外見とかアウトじゃない。
He might seem that way, but you're very wrong about his overall scores, though.
そうなの？
He was the third best of our promotion after Son and Kaoru.
3位？
She genuinely seems surprised. Don't be fooled by his looks, or he'll fuck you up more than you would already. I remember this one time when Son made Raita really mad because he said something about Raita's figurines or whatever he calls them that he didn't like. Raita gave Son a run for his fucking money that time. They were neck and neck. He's good at fighting and at his studies. Unfortunately, the Lord didn't grace him with the looks to go along with those.
最後の一つがないのも。
Yep, he's just so disgusting that it really shadows all his other positives.
悲しいことに。
As we kept thinking about how we should consider Raita's case, we see him enter the academy's building with a tinge of sadness in our eyes.
ところで、
Whoa, didn't know you wanted to add something else to the
あ
conversation.
の制服のセンス、どうにかならなかったの？
That's a valid point to raise about him. I don't get why he likes to go around the academy wearing that cringy shit either. His uniform has to be one of the most resilient ones out there, though.
何それ？
If the chance presents itself, I'll show you why I said that. Here's hoping that day never comes, though. I feel like after this morning's incident, I've doomed myself to see more of Raita in the immediate future, and I'm not exactly thrilled about that. Just as lunch break starts, I see Raita peek into my
お呼
class.
びみたいよ。カイト？
Can't go since I haven't given me permission to leave. Sorry.
許可。悪い。
Why?
私、あの男見ながら昼食を食べる気ないから。
And you think I do?
これは命令よ。みんながあれのせいで体調を崩したらどうするのよ。
Nobody's gonna catch anything, Raika.
お嬢様大丈夫ですか？
気分が優れないの。何か気持ち悪いのが。
救急車を呼んでくれ！
ほら、
Fine, it does seem that having him around would only lead to disaster. Oh, well, here I go. You need something?
実は
Good to know, bye.
まだ何も言ってないよ。
Hey, don't fucking touch me, gross!
だったら大親友の僕の話を聞いてくれよ。
Okay, I will, so please let go of me. Then let's go of his insanely strong grip, and I desperately make some distance between us as he does.
仲がいいわね。
Says Reika while she passes beside us and heads towards the cafeteria alone. No, Reika, we're anything but friends. This is fucking embarrassing.
すごく仲がいいんだね、カイト君。
No, we're not. Both you and Reika are wrong. Are you okay leaving a client by yourself?
いつものことだから。
Wait, what?
僕と昼食を食べるのは嫌だって言われるんだ。
I feel you in more ways than one, Kyoka. Now that I think about it, Raita always eats alone in his classroom. So that's the reason. So anyways, what do you want from me again?
僕にアドバイスをしてほしいんだ。
You want me to give you advice? What?
お嬢様とどうやればうまくやっていけるのかを。
This isn't the first time that someone has asked me this question. Why do they think that whatever I have to say will be useful in any way, I wonder? Literally the worst common denominator. I lack all manners of common sense. How am I supposed to help him get along with someone? Sure, I'll tell you a super effective method.
なんだい？
Get plastic surgery. Easy.
カイト君！
Hey, don't cry on me! What the fuck?!
もし生まれ変わっても、僕は僕でいたいんだ。
Man, if only you had the looks to match how cool that sounded. And here I thought that you'd do it without hesitation.
こんなことを自分で言うのもなんだけど、カイト君ほどじゃないにしろ、割とイケメンなんじゃないかと思ってる。
You, good looking?
そう。普段の僕はメガネをかけてるけど、何気にメガネを外した時の鋭い眼光なんか、かなり女の子を引きつけちゃうと思うんだ。
He then takes his glasses off to try and prove his point.
なんで真っ暗なの？
We'd prefer the readers to be alive after this, right? We don't want to kill anyone today. He then puts his glasses on once more. Yeah, you're beyond salvation. God's help you.
人間は外見じゃないよ。
Sure, I get it. Now get away from me, if you will. The looks are not everything. They're still a huge selling point when it comes to assessing people. That much is true. Well, not like I have anything better to do this afternoon. It's your lucky day. I'll hang out with you only for the duration of lunch break.
本当かい？
In exchange, I will never do this again.
僕はいい友達を持ったよ。
We ain't friends, but we are more than strangers to each other for the time being, so yeah.
手厳しいな。でも感謝するよ。
We then pick up a couple of sandwiches and decide to eat in one of the empty classrooms. Since Raita has genuinely asked me for help with his client, I'll try to help him out if I can. Okay, tell me about your relationship with your client.
関係？
She hates your ass, but she chose you to be your bodyguard. I want to know what's up with that.
そういうことは漏らせないんだよ。
Okay, bye-bye.
話すから行かないで。カイト君も知っての通り、僕は学年で3番だった。
Yeah, you didn't make much of an impression on me, but I remember that much.
今年のお嬢様たちの危険度リストは見たかい？
Not at all.
だよね。一番危険と判断されたのは、カイト君のプリンシパル、二階堂麗華お嬢様。そして宮川君のプリンシパル、綾お嬢様。その次に危険視されていたのが、僕のプリンシパルである京香お嬢様なんだ。
I was gonna ask him why not Taya, but she's in a league of her own. So logically, you'd be chosen to protect her,
カイ
okay?
ト君は順当じゃないけど。
I'm more than aware.
でも、京香お嬢様は僕を指名してはいなかったんだ。
And that means?
お嬢様たちには僕らと違ってボディーガードを指名する権利があるだろ
More or less.
だけど学園側の決定権には逆らえない。最初僕を見た時ボディーガードはいらないと言い出したんだ。
I understand your feelings. It's not like when Japanese women idealize marrying foreigners. Eventually, they become disillusioned to the thought of it once they see how incompatible they usually are. Normally, those marriages end up with the woman going to live to another country with the guy, but they never really adapt to the culture and end up divorcing the dude and becoming members of the special services industry. So basically, whoring themselves out, but I gotta keep it PG in front of this kid.
僕には全然わからないよその例え。
What did Kyoka choose in the end?
それが
You don't know?
京香お嬢様は3人指名してたんだ。宮川君に南條君。
So you do know who she chose. Don't lie to me. No wonder she tried to get them both to look good looking and competent too.
それからカイト君、君だ。
Wait, me?
うん。
Wait a second. What is the meaning of this? This morning had to be the first time I crossed paths with her. She didn't seem to know me either, so what's the deal with that? Why would you choose me in the first place?
僕もそうだよ。最初の2人はともかく、カイト君には劣ってない自信があるからね。
Don't try to be condescending with me, you little shit.
そのことが気になって、それとなく聞いてみたんだ。
And what did you say?
口が匂うから黙れって。
I drive my fist into his head. I didn't ask you to tell me that, you idiot. What did you say after that?
続きがちゃんとあるから殴らないでよ。口臭を気にされてるみたいだから、ちゃんとガムを噛んで爽やかにしたんだ。
Can you just tell me what you said and stop derailing the entire conversation?
あんたを見てると眼球が腐るって。
Now I punch his head even harder than before.
頭痛いじゃないか。
I'm suffering here too.
まだ続きがあるんだから。
Continue. Get ready to punch him again, because at this point I'm ready for anything.
なんでも、もう一人のボディーガードがカイト君のことを探していたらしいからなんだ。
Oh, you actually said something useful this time around.
驚くところが違うよ。
But wait, you're telling me that she has another bodyguard and this other bodyguard has been searching for me or something?
僕らは今年からプリンシパルの警護を担当することになってるけど、お嬢様がそれ以前にボディーガードをそばに置いてるケースがあるのは知ってるよね。
Yeah, I'm aware. I had quite the amount of dudes waiting for her at the entrance, yes, every day, for example. Ever since Sun started protecting her, though, they have
京
vanished.
香お嬢様も一人連れてらしたんだ。
And this person has been looking for me?
うん。
Who is it?
それはなんか話がずれたね。とにかく僕は望まれたボディーガードじゃなかったんだ。
Just just when I was getting to the interesting part, you said that he was derailing. Give me a fucking break. Too bad for her, but I don't see why she would be so mad about
で
it.
も君は望まれたボディーガードなんだろう？麗華お嬢様の指名がそのまま通ったって。今年指名をしたお嬢様は少なかったけど、唯一要望が通らなかったのが強化お嬢様なんだ。
I see.
居心地が悪いというか、すごく肩身が狭いんだ。
No wonder you're horrible when it comes to making friends and anything related to human relationships in general.
僕の唯一の欠点だよ。
Sorry to burst your bubble, but you do have more than one issue. On the other hand, he did end up being third of our promotion, and that in itself is quite the achievement.
カイト君もコミュニケーション能力低かったよね。
Yeah, almost as bad as you are. He's worse than me, but I'll admit that I'm a close contender for first place.
そんなカイト君が望まれた形とはいえ、あの気難しいことで有名な麗華お嬢様とうまくやってるなんて、何か秘密があるに違いないと思うんだ。
Nope, I'm pretty sure I've been quite open with you.
嘘はやめてよ。手品師の言う種も仕掛けもは間違いなく種や仕掛けを用意してるんだから。
I'm not a fraud.
君の成績で麗華お嬢様のボディーガードをやってるっていう現実が手品師じゃなかったら何なのさ。
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to call me tense.
それじゃ納得いかないよ。
He then starts to devour a sandwich. No wonder Kyoko calls him a pink. He certainly eats like one. Sure likes to run his mouth though. Pretty sure we've talked more of the day than all of the conversations we've had last year combined. Based on what we've talked about, I can only see one way for you to save face in the situation.
僕はどうすればいい？
Lose weight. I ain't gonna tell you to get plastic surgery, but at the very least, you should lose some weight. I'm sure she'll see you in a different light if you do.
体を動かすのは好きじゃないんだ。
Then why did you even become a bodyguard in the first place?
だってお父さんが。
The fuck's wrong with this fat ass? I'm pretty sure the reason she doesn't like you very much is simple. She doesn't know whether or not she can trust you, or if you're even incompetent. I'm sure that if you improve your looks somehow, she'll think better of you.
顔はどうにもならないよ。
That's why I told you to lose weight instead.
ダイエットもどうにもならないよ。リバウンドが怖いし。
You've never even tried going on a diet before, so you have no right to complain about what you don't know.
でもリバウンドを奥戻ってちょっといいかも。僕のリバウンドはデブを制す。
You okay?
知らない？全盛期の漫画だけどね、面白いんだ。
A century too old, no
とに
thanks.
かく楽な解決方法に臨むよ。
There's no easy solution to anything. You're still young, you should go through hardships while you still can.
カイト君は買い取り拒否するじゃないか。
Like, Kaiju's special, you don't. Yeah, but Kaiju, you don't go through any hardships. He's just like, for a second, just like, should I cave his skull in? No, this old twink isn't worth getting arrested for. Like, he just sits there like, maybe I should dump it in a special area. I'm special.
僕は僕だよ。
This conversation is getting us nowhere.
こんなことを相談できるのはカイト君だけなんだよ。
I'm trying to tell you what to do, but you refuse to listen to me.
そうだ、僕が活躍するっていうのはどうだろう。
How
仮
so?
面をかぶった男が強化お嬢様に襲いかかるんだ。そこで僕が颯爽と含め、そうすれば見直すんじゃないかな。
I know you'd be excited to put your idea to the test, but it wouldn't be as easy to pull off as you think.
そこはほら、ね
He then plays his hands on my shoulder like we're friends or something. What is
え、
it?
僕に協力して覆面をかぶってよ。
Hell no.
なんでだよ。
I have no obligation to help you to that degree.
全身可動のフィギュアあげるからさ。
He then pulls out what I assume to be one of his anime girl figurines from the back.
コミケで買ったんだ。プレミアがついてて高いんだよ。
And you're telling me you can move this. Try to move its head a little, but it falls off after trying to move it.
なんてこと！
My bad, tried to make a 360-degree turn with the head, but I guess it was too much.
首は普通360度回らないでしょ。
Well, maybe this thing's head could. I was trying to see if my theory was correct or not.
死ぬよ。
Fucking pussy, you gotta challenge conventional norms, otherwise life's just boring.
取れた首を投げ捨てないで。
I want her to look like Ghost Rider.
それ美少女かどうかわかんないよ。プレミアだったの。
Everything eventually breaks. Better sooner than later.
綺麗にまとめてもダメ。責任。
You're unironically telling me I should own up to my actions because I plucked the head of this stupid figurine of yours? Oh, well, because I gotta own up to it like a man. I'll do anything except what you tell me to do.
まったく男らしくないよカイト君。僕のお願いを聞くつもりが全然ないよ。
You can't be serious. You really want me to wear a mask and pretend to attack that woman?
警察には突き出さないから安心して。
Of course you're not going to, you stupid fuck.
よろしく頼むよ。僕の好感度アップのためにさ。
Whatever you say.
じゃあこの透明のストッキングで覆面して襲いかかってきてよ。
She recognizes me the very instant she sees me.
なら仮面サイダーのお面は
Think of a better option.
じゃあこの犯罪者ニット帽で。
Now you got me curious as to why you're wearing that stuff around at all times, carrying that stuff around at all times.
いつか使う日が来るかもしれないからね。
Don't cross my path if that day ever comes, because if it does, you're fucked. Up, sprag's over. It looks like it's time for you to leave.
じゃあとはよろしく。
Ratta then bolts out of the classroom. I'll admit, he's a fatso, but a fast
こ
fatso.
のことは僕とカイト君だけの秘密。
Yeah, let me ask you one more thing before you leave, though. Who's the other bodyguard protecting Kyoka that's looking for me again? Ratta's already left. I fucking hate it when people come to me for advice. Fucking pain in the ass. I was kind of how many times I sighed after my encounter with Raita. We're in the middle of the afternoon classes. I already told Reika about Raita's plan to see if she'll allow me to follow through with it.
面白いこと考えるじゃない。あいつ。
That ain't amusing. If I fuck up, I could be pretty much done for the rest of my life. I know I'm just going to be pretending to want to attack a lady, but if another person related to the academy or an officer spots me while doing so, game over. Could end up in jail
だ
for
から
this.
私に話しておくんでしょ。
I guess so.
存分に変質者のふりをしてくればいいじゃない。けれど、このことで評価が上がるとは思えないわね。
You think so?
ボディーガードは何かあった時のためにいるんだし、主を守るのは当然のことじゃない。
Maybe he wants to give Kyoka a case of Stockholm Syndrome so she falls in love with him or something.
そこにしか希望がないのも、哀れね。
The moment of truth has arrived and classes have ended. As far as I'm aware, Kyoka will be shopping around the business district for a bit and then return home. Not plenty of time to act, more than an hour at the very
帰るわよ。
least. Sure. As we leave the classroom, we happen to stumble across Aya and
お
Son.
姉様も今からお帰りになるんですか？
そうよ。
では一緒のお車で帰ります？
私は歩いて帰るからいいわ。
そうですか。
行きましょうか、綾お嬢様。
私もご一緒してよろしいですか？
綾お嬢様。
それは構わないけど。
ありがとうございます。
家までは距離があります。お車の方がよろしいのでは？
久しぶりに歩きたいんです。いけませんか？
お嬢様がそれでよろしいなら。
はい。
カイト、くれぐれも粗相のないようにな。
Good to know Son still has enough manners to warn me as graciously as he did just now. Right back at you, partner. Try to resist the urge to pee outside while you were going back this time.
違いますよ、お嬢様。この間ってなんだ？僕の生きてきた奇跡にそんなことは一度もない。
Alright, I guess I was wrong. Chill, we all make mistakes.
とんでもない勘違いをするな。もう少しで信用を一気になくすところだったじゃないか。
仲がよろしいんですね。
私には犬と猿に見えるけどね。
僕は礼儀を知らない人間が嫌いですから。
Look at us. The savage excuses himself. He should learn proper manners from me.
すみません。って貴様だ
意外といいコンビかも。
No need to be so tense, son. In fact, I've one of these that's on the house. Then pull out a piece of paper and quickly start writing on it, then give it to him.
なんだこれは。
It's a voucher for a shoulder massage, though there's one special.
Next.
The one who holds it has the responsibility of giving me a shoulder massage.
これ以上僕をからかうなら、お前を殺す。
Fucking try me! he says while tearing my precious voucher apart. Whoa,
これ
spooky.
以上からかってると本当に切れそうね。
Young people nowadays are just too jumpy about everything.
衝動的ですか？
Like when you bump into another person and one of the guys takes it too personally and wants to start a fight, or when someone's getting threatened and suddenly goes ballistic.
怖いです。それを未然に防がなきゃならないボディーガードが短気なのは良くないわね。
Yeah, tell him.
僕の評価が暴落していく。
Both Rick and Aya are walking in front of us while having a giggle. Meanwhile, Son and I trail close behind them in silence. There's more people around here today than usual. As I feel the piercing looks behind us, I heave a sigh. I've been on observation for a while now, and today I feel more people than ever watching us. I don't think anyone has any intentions of attacking us, but I should still be somewhat wary. Still don't like catching everyone's attention either. That's what I feel is happening right now. Son, I'm getting bored. Let's talk about something at least.
ボディーガードが無駄口を叩くな。
Still mad about what happened before?
別に。
Yeah, you are. You're mad as fuck. If only you had some balls, but you could. But I guess you really are a small man down there.
あそこは関係ないだろ。
It's okay, dude. Sizing and everything, so you can rest easy.
貴様に言われると腹が立つ。
Wait, so there's something under your skin?
言ってないだろ。
Sorry, dude. Took you too literally. Thought you were trying to hide something. The fact that you're mad because your dick's small.
気にさせてるのは貴様だ。身体的特徴を侮辱するなと、薫に注意されなかったか。
Some time ago.
少しは学習してくれ。
Okay, I want to train a bit while we return home.
訓練だと。
Let's make it about some theoretical questions regarding our psychoanalysis assignment.
面白い。不真面目なカイトが進んで訓練とは偉いぞ。
Actually, I don't mind. Let's play a guessing game where we're each going to point at a girl and guess what color's underwear she's wearing.
ひどくバカらしい上に、結果の探りようがないだろ。
Dude, just ask them what's the color of their underwear. It ain't hard.
変質者じゃないか。
Worry not. You'll be the one asking, so I'll be good.
少しでも感心してしまった自分が恥ずかしい。
Look at that chubby over there. Better underwear is black.
勝手に始めるな。
Okay, then how about we invite Aya to the mix?
呼ばれました？
呼んでません。お気になさらず。貴様、僕に刺される覚悟があるんだろうな。
Chill, dude. We're just having a funny conversation while we're on the way home. What's wrong with that?
ボディーガードは常に警護対象者の障害にならず、プライベートの時間の妨げになってはならない。僕らが雑談することで、お二人の妨げにならないとも言えないだろう。だから僕らは、静かにお嬢様たちをお守りすることこそ、大切にしなければならないんだ。聞いてるのか、カイト。あれ、カイト。あやお嬢様、レイカお嬢様、どこに行かれたのですか？
そういえばあや、あんたまた大きくなったでしょ。大きく？何ですか？
Oh, can you see the jealousy in her eyes?
胸よ胸。なんでそのことを？好きに聞いたから。言わないでって言っておいたのに。私に申し訳ないからとか。それは、でもほら、大きいって邪魔なだけですし、お姉様くらいだと苦労も少なくて羨ましいです。肩が凝るほど大きくないって言いたいのね。怒らないでください。あんたは味方だと思ってたのに。私の味方は月だけみたいね。違います。月だって自慢してました。聞き捨てならないわね。これは秘密でした。言いなさい。言わないとカイトに胸を揉ませるわよ。
Hey, how about no?
後ろから口を挟まない。気配を消しておけ。それで言うのですけど、約束して。苦しむ前に話すか、苦しんでから話すか、どっち？話しますから。月が自分の方が少し大きいって。この間測った時はどっちも同じだったでしょ。 いえ、この間測ったら大きくなってたと。嘘！本当です。私も確認しました。それで、月すごく喜んでました。何度もガッツポーズ作ったりしてて、私もおめでとうって。私、また余計なことを。まだまだ成長過程にあるみたいね。二人とも。心配いりません、お姉様。妹の私がこんなになるんですから。全然慰めになってないわよ、それ。揉んでやりなさい。困ります。何してんの？私が許可する。嫌がられても強引にやってしまいなさい。お姉様。
It's not like I don't want to. Any guy would say yes if they got presented with a chance. Do I pussy out and take what she said as a joke, or do I follow through her command as per post obligations? Where my personal desires lead me to. I see the game has decided to give me the freedom of choice again. So even if she wants me to let go, I can still go at it.
何を言われても。カイト様、冗談ですよね。
Well, I got permission, so here I go. Then quickly position myself behind her and grab her chest. Oh! He turned it around on her! Ha! Anyways, I'm going to be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's help Reika grow a bit. While I'm grubbing her over her clothes, I can feel the softness of her chest through my fingertips. Damn, Reika, you got some nice titties. Right when you say that they're a wee bit small considering your age, but personally I think the ones you got going are pretty fucking nice. Start moving my fingers to feel the boobs more. Reika's been raised in her own little bubble, so this must be her first time having another guy going at it with her tits. Damn, normally she's so cold and distant. Where's that composure of yours gone to, Reika? But Reika, you told me that I could keep going at it, even if you said not to let go. Talking is hard. Well, I can do much fondling while doing it over her clothes and bra, but I can still show her a good time for sure. Reika gave me permission, chill. I haven't touched tits in a long time, so I lose myself in the experience for a bit. Oh, you'll what? Put more strength into my rope and pinch a little harder, making her twist her body. Aya's just staring at us, her face bead red. She then drives her right arm right behind her, intending to hit me. Unfortunately for her, I easily stop it. You think you can stop me? I can't slip a punch from a weakling like you. Of course I'm still going at it. He's starting to cry a little. Okay, I'm done. Reika's legs tremble so much that she lets go and falls on the spot. Damn, that felt good. You wanted me to do that to your own sister. Guess I'm a moron. Took you long enough.
勝手に僕を置いて。どうしたんですか、レイカお嬢様。
Says Reika while she stands up, staggering a bit while she does so. Like he just fucking went for it. Oh, scary. She then breaks to sprint towards where the mansion is. I guess I gotta go after her. See ya.
なんだったんだ。
私、よくわからなくなりました。カイト様はとても優しい方だと思ってたんです。
カイトが優しい？ありえません。天変地異が起こっても、それだけは絶対に。
ちょっとだけ怖くなってしまいました。なんだか、カイトさんには。
カイトには何です？
なんでも。
Once the time arrives, I get out of the estate and head to where Kyoka will pass near the residential area to follow through with Raita's plan. Won't be long before they're here. I don't have to wait for long. Moments after I arrive, I happen to spot Raita and his client coming my way. Make sure that there are a few people around us, and then just place that sock he gave me on my head. Then hide myself behind a pole and wait for the unsuspecting victim to arrive. God, if someone else saw me right now, they'd think I'm a terrorist for sure. Or at the very least, someone with not very good intentions. Now I quickly have to think, what will my reason be to assail Kyoka? I pretend to want to kidnap her for the cash. Now it wouldn't be possible. I'm alone and I'm not carrying any weapons either. Listen, whatever you sort of car, pretend I want to take her away, so that option's out of the board. The only legitimate reason I can think of is to pretend I simply want to rob her or rape her. No, there have been many cases where people have tried to hit it with the ladies last year and ended up getting caught. Fortunately for them, it's because they always had not bodyguards at their side. I should probably try a similar stunt, one in which I let Raita quickly deal with me and then quickly run away as quickly as I can. Okay, Raita and Kyoka are almost here. There's still some distance between us, around 30 meters or so. Take deep breaths. Okay, here goes nothing. So I'm about to go at him. A maid suddenly comes out of the estate and looks my way. Obviously, she has no clue who I am. Time to seem friendly enough for her to not suspect me. Why so serious? Smile! I then smile as hard as I can. I know I look a little dodgy, but don't call the police on me for that.
不審者を見つけたら通報するのは市民の義務です。
You know who I am. I ain't a miscreant.
こんな犯罪者の格好をした方に心当たりはありま。もしもし警察ですか？不審者の朝霧海斗を見つけました。
You perfectly know who I am! Then snatched the phone from her hands. Why she didn't call
こんな
anyone.
ところで何してるか、海斗。
Silence, trashy maid. Right now I'm not Kaito Asagiri. Right now I'm the only true descendant of Lupin III, a rapist extraordinaire. Okay, that was in bad taste. Sorry, okay? Don't actually call the police.
常軌を逸した行動。
Ah, shit, fuck. There's no time. Hide in that trash can.
ゴミ？
I lift Tsuki and throw her into an empty bin located near
知ら
us.
ない。
No shit, Oscar the Grouch. Now shut the fuck up. I say as I slam the trash can lid over her. Don't you fucking dare try to come out.
犯罪の瞬間を撮影してればいい？
No, no pictures allowed. Then, as I see Kyoka and the others approach, I jump in front of her. Whoa there, beautiful! Stop right there! I'm confident in my acting skills. I tried to sound like a classic pervert right there. God, this is painful!
なんですのあなた。
お下がりください、京香様。こいつからは犯罪の匂いがします。
He's starting to make trouble in the neighborhood, though. Me and they are about to get into one little fight. I mean, it would be reasonable to assume that her mom would get scared because of that as well. I'm going to stop now. I bet he's trained himself to say that line hundreds of times. That then gives me a wink signaling that he's ready for the show to start. Fucking gross. Anyways, back to reality. Come on, don't you want to have a good time with a
いい
man?
こと？
Ain't it obvious? I then start to move my hands to simulate me fondling a pair of
変
titties.
質者？
そのようです。ですが、震えないでください。僕、
Whoops. I don't think she's scared. I think she's curious about me more than anything else.
それでどうするつもりかしら？
She's actually trying to provoke me. You know the deal, man's gotta savor the sweetness of your body.
ライト？
はい、お嬢様。
その男を捕まえてマスクを剥がしなさい。全国に素顔を晒して差し上げますわ。
お任せください。
Sure, go ahead and try. I'll pretend that this is a real fight. Let's try to be a hero for a moment, then fuck off.
Go!
Like quickly moves towards me and punches my chest really hard. Fuck, that hurt. Wait, he's going to beat me up for real? Wait, you.
See ya!
Right, that continues barraging me with a flurry of attacks.
やってやるやってやるぞ
He's hitting me with everything he's got. If someone found out that we're both bodyguards, we'd be getting expelled for this. Piece of shit.
これでとどめだ
That then pulls out some sort of weapon from behind his back. It's the first time I see something of the sort. It's a white stick, but I quickly realize that it's actually a baton. If he hits me with that, this won't end well. Don't fucking get too full of yourself, you little shit. As he raises his arm and prepares to attack me, I quickly move and headbutt him on his forehead before he strikes. I bet he saw the stars right there, but I had to collapse on the ground, baton still in hand, but when he crashes, he lets go of it and it rolls away. Kyoka seemed quite confident in herself moments ago, but I start to notice how she's quickly losing her composure. Shit. I wasn't supposed to beat him. Sorry to say this, but he ain't waking up from that. Kyoka then looks at me, shocked by what just happened. I should fuck off right now.
このままでは私は薬を打たれて外国に売られてしまいますわ。二馬車に揺られるんですわ。
We live in the 21st century, not the 18th. I had to poke a little bit of fun at her.
何やってるのこんなとこで。
Suddenly, I see another girl approaching us behind Kyoka. She's wearing some plastic bags, probably from Kyoka's buying spree.
やっと戻ってきましたのね。ねえ、これどういうこと？なんでこいつが伸びてんの？
Girl then kicks it at the fucking know who she is.
目の前の変質者にやられましたの。変質者？まあ、どう見ても怪しいけど、もしかして私に対処しろってこと？当然ですわ。私は雇い主ですのよ。
So this is the other bodyguard right that mentioned to me this morning.
余計な手間。
The girl gives the plastic bags to
これ持っ
Kyoka.
てて。
Maybe it's time for little old me to leave.
は
I shouldn't get into trouble.
あ？こう言ってるけど。逃がしてはいけませんわ。私に脅威を向けた者は抹殺します。
I head towards the trash can, but Tsuki isn't lifted.
そんなものを武器に使うの？別にいいけど。
She gets a step closer to me. Good thing she's not ready to go at it just yet. I take advantage of that and take a quick sprint, fake that I'm going to throw them the front trash can and quickly turn around while she's stunned by the move and run away. So long!
揺れる、揺れる。
Endure it. Good thing I managed to escape before Tsuki was able to see Anzu recognizing me. That wouldn't have been good.
失礼します。
I knock on Lady Reika's door in the middle of the night. I'm done with my work for the day. I'm here as Tsuki, not as a head maid. There's no other way for me to tell her that I'm about to, what I'm about to, otherwise, what? As I enter the room, I'm greeted by her cheetahs.
どうしたの？こんな時間に。
実は、麗華お嬢様に知らせておきたいことがありまして。
知らせておきたいこと？
カイト様がやってきて間もなく、彼の素性について調べられていたかと思います。
もしかして、何か分かったの？
はい。
何が分かったの？
Reika quickly closed her distance towards me.
詳しいことはまだ分かっておりませんが、どうやらカイト様は資産家の一人息子のようなのです。
資産家？
宮川様の家庭ほどではないかと思われます。
ボディーガード本家とまで言われる宮川よ。その情報はどこから？
それが、旦那様のご友人からなのです。
お父様の？
本日、旦那様の使いで金沢家へ参りました。そこで、カイト様のことを聞かれまして。
聞かれた？
はい。朝霧家のボディーガードが、麗華お嬢様の警護をしているそうだな、と。この付近に、朝霧という姓は存在しません。ですが、朝霧という名を知られていたことも事実です。
県外から、とも考えられるけど。
It's still very weird indeed. The Miyagawas and the Kanzakis are from other prefectures as well, and there's tons of information about their respective families. Kaito were to be of common origins, then we'd even have more information about his family, considering that common folk attending Reno isn't normal. The fact that he's actually from a supposedly well-known family, and there's no single trace of its existence is weird.
それで、詳しいことは聞けたの？
私は、確かに朝霧というボディーガードが麗華お嬢様をお守りしていると告げました。なぜお聞きになるのですかと、そこで口を伏せられてしまいました。私の推測になりますが、ひょっとすると旦那様は、カイト様のことを知っておられるのでは？
今の話を聞く限りじゃ、何とも言えないわね。お父様は素性のわからない男って言ってたし、 金沢家の主がカイトのことを知っていた。けれど朝霧という名前の資産家は資料には存在しない。仮に資産家として破産していたとしても記録として残っていなければ不自然だし、ますます謎が深まるばかりね。
はい。
ありがとう。また何か分かったら教えて。
かしこまりました。それでは失礼します。
I heave a deep sigh and head towards my room. I must admit I'm interested in Kaito's past as interested in Kaito's past as Lady Reika is. I wasn't expecting him to be a son of a wealthy family. The way he acts doesn't show it at all. Why are there no records of his family? Why would he be so against us looking into him? Ended up not telling Lady Reika what happened tonight. The girl came to the estate asking if Kaito was here. She had to know about his past for sure, I knew it. But why didn't I tell anything to Lady Reika? Was it because I didn't deem it necessary? As necessary. I remember when Kaito saw her tonight, I saw her the moment he did, he ran away. But maybe I didn't tell her because it was if I actually did, it would have kick-started a sequence of events. What am I even talking about at this point? I don't even know.
もやもやする。
I'm thinking about this too much. I can feel that dark figure encroaching on the depth of my mind, but I managed to fend it off before it
掃
succeeds.
除しよう。
I must expunge that dark figure from my mind. And if I need to clean until I forget about it, so be it. Ah! Ow! 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 What the fuck's going on? Being hit on my head over and over and it fucking hurts so much. Fucking hurts! Quit it! I should grab whatever is hitting me before it continues. A ladle. Start to realize what it is going on. I look up and see who's hitting me so hard. I already know it is. There's only one person who's managed with the ovaries to do this to me. Damn, so grumpy this early in the morning.
仕留め損ねた。
You have a grudge on me or something?
揉んだ。
Huh?
麗華お嬢様の胸を揉んだ。
Ah, that.
そのことかじゃない。
I wasn't expecting you to have two ladles.
許さない。
Never asked for your forgiveness in the first place. Still, you wake up and realize that there's still an hour before breakfast happens. Do you ever wake up at a normal hour?
謝る。麗華お嬢様に謝る。
Reika gave me her permission to fondle her tits.
そんなもの本気じゃないことはわ。
Can you stop hitting me? It hurts, seriously.
麗華様は無言にすると言ってるけど、これは絶対に許してはいけないこと。
If Reika told you to let it go, then I don't see why it's such a big deal.
よくない。
You're going to give me a brain damage if you keep smashing my head like that.
元から悪い。
Piss off.
カイトのしたことは人として許されないこと。
Great, I love waking up at 5 in the morning to get a sermon from you of all.
カイト
Wait, she's actually angry. I thought she was composed as usual, but I've never seen her lose her cool like this before. She really took what happened seriously. Get out of my room, shoo
カイ
shoo.
ト見損なった。
I've always been like this, deal with it. I'm an asshole, it's all over my CV, what were you expecting? Tsuki then leaves my room without saying a single word. I'm already tired, the day hasn't even begun yet. I'd like to sleep a bit more, but I fear that if I do that, Tsuki will come again and dent my skull with those ladles of hers. It's like Reika told other people what happened yesterday. Not a company yet. Reika told other people besides Tsuki what happened, and for sure the academy at that old geezer Genzo would have made sure that I paid the price. Would have been expelled by now, and maybe considered a criminal. Criminal. Get out of my room and head towards the dining hall.
何部屋に戻ってんのよ。
Sorry, saw Satan himself appearing in front of me and had to.
出てこなきゃ扉を蹴破るわよ。
I investigated a little and turns out that these doors, though seemingly made of wood, are actually made of pure iron and have fake wood outside. Even its keyhole and doorknobs are sturdy. You ain't gonna tear it down anytime
開けろ
soon.
って言ってるのがわかんないのか。
Whoa, she actually kicked the door. She's so mad at
今す
already.
ぐ開けないなら扉越しに火をつける。
You wanna roast me
なら開
alive?
けなさい。
You're gonna chew me out if I do, so I'd rather
誰が
not.
食うか。
Okay, I'll open. The moment I opened the door, Reika throws an incredibly fast uppercut, one with such speed and strength that I would have never thought it possible for someone of her stature. Knew you were gonna beat me up. You're lucky I didn't break any bones, or would have had to take I would have had you take responsibility.
すっきりした。これでチャラにしてやるわ。今回だけは。
Didn't know I deserved an uppercut for touching your tits.
本来なら死刑よ。
He then flashes a haughty smile and leaves. Ow.
今のは何の音だ？
Son comes out of his room now.
扉の入り口に座り込んで何してる？
Nothing.
何を笑ってるんだ？
I'm smiling.
見たことないくらい気持ち悪い笑顔でな。
Yes, I'm smiling.
何なんだ一体。
Came again to cry about Reika's shit again.
麗華お嬢様はもう許したって言ってる。
Yeah, I know. Can you leave me be now? She hit me as well, just like you did. Everyone's happy now.
どこまで愚か。
What?
お嬢様はカイトのためを思って許してくれた。
Ah, yeah, I bet that uppercut was her deeply caring about me.
普通なら学園を退学になってた。
I never asked for help if she was worried about that, and it was unnecessary.
もしそんなことになってたら、カイトは一生満足な生活を送ることができなくなる。
I guess her family would have made sure that I'd remain miserable.
それに、ボディーガードとして引き止めた自分にも責任があるって。麗華お嬢様には、今まで何度もボディーガードをそばに置く話が出てた。だけど、誰も信用できないと言ってそばに置かなかった。たった一人、信用したのがカイト。カイトはそれを裏切ったことになる。
How many times I gotta tell you that I didn't betray anyone's trust? She gave me permission to touch you.
カイト、ボディーガードは裏切っちゃいけない。カイトだって、麗華お嬢様ならボディーガードを続けてもいいと思ってくれたんじゃないの？
Who? Me.
学園に退学届を出したのに、思いとどまってくれた。なら、麗華お嬢様のことを裏切らないで。
Tsuki.
何か。
You think you're brave enough to lock the door of the room?
鍵？
You heard me lock the door. You've got the balls.
どういうことか。
If you know everything about this mansion, you'll be aware that the doors don't allow many sounds to go through them. They're soundproof. All the rooms are soundproof, actually. The walls have special materials, too. Tried it once, screamed as loud as I could, and no one came to the room. I know no one heard us. Lock the door and sit beside me.
何をするか。
I'll show you. I'll show you who I really am. Tsuki knows that I pretty much assaulted Reika the other day, and even so, without a moment of hesitation, she locks the door and sits beside me on the bed.
これでいい？
What would you do if I pushed you down?
別に。
Wouldn't Yamada get mad at you?
だから？
Think I'm not being serious, huh? Then push her onto the bed. Though instead of getting scared, she keeps glaring at me. Huh, not scared.
さあ
No, you and everyone else is wrong about me. Stand up and stand next to the window while I look at the outside. You're free to tell Reika, Genzo, whoever the fuck you want what I'm about to tell you now. Just listen to what I have to say and do whatever. Do you know why I once tried to leave the academy?
わからない。私だけじゃなく、麗華お嬢様も。
Figured. Sure, they could guess about the reasons all they want, but in the end, only I know the truth. Kids nowadays dream of becoming bodyguards. It's like when before they dreamed of becoming football, baseball, professional players. Nowadays, being a bodyguard is what is presented as cool. It's everywhere. The bodyguard is always the cool one, whether in an anime, soap opera, or even the news. Figure the bodyguard is always presented as the paragon of justice, someone who selflessly protects others from harm. Thought that being a bodyguard was kind of a dream job a year ago as well. And I happened to spend the first year that I know alongside other people who devoted all their sweat, blood, and tears into achieving their dreams. The reason I entered the academy are completely different from those of my peers, though. It's not like I wasn't interested in this line of work, but I didn't really want to become a bodyguard.
よくわからない。
I ain't lying. I know it sounds weird, but yeah. Normally people who want to become bodyguards naturally follow the path of that line of work. I'll try to explain it in a simpler way. Basically, what I hate the most in the world is being bored. The monotony of life. Whenever I'm around other people who are studying, training, or doing things that occupy my time without allowing me to think, I can let go. I forgot about time itself and concentrate on whatever task I'm given. That's why I endured the last year. So difficult and busy that I hardly had a spare moment to even think. Try to explain this with an analogy of sports. Everything turns out to be dull quickly. At some point I realized that in the end I was doing the same thing over and over again. Sports have rules, but there's no strict rules set about our jobs. It's a thrilling job. You can get attacked by someone at a moment. You'll never know when. You always pressure to stay on your toes because death could be around any corner. That thrill of the unknown, not knowing if I'd be dead the next second is what drew me to this job. Or so I thought. I quickly realized that I would never be able to feel that kind of thrill. Just the thought of having to spend the rest of my life protecting a pure-hearted lady in the safe zone was enough to make me see the truth of it all. I understood that I'd end up growing bored of it. No matter how much potential danger we could face. In the end, every single one of these rich kids lives in the safe zone anyway. All of them eat 3 meals a day and have beds to sleep on. Their futures are virtually guaranteed. It's like practicing a sport and knowing all the while that there's a limit to just how far you can go. That's why on the last day of the first year, I presented my letter of withdrawal from the program. I didn't want to know what future awaited me. I didn't want to be guaranteed a long life. Before we spend at this estate cleaning and stuff, yeah? Have you ever tried closing your eyes and walking around the place? You know this place like the back of your hand, but you have to learn your way around the place once more. That would make you somewhat wary of every step you've taken away. Imagine trying to avoid hitting your face on a wall, not knowing what it is on your left or right, or even worse, being at risk of falling from an open window you didn't even know was there. That's the kind of thrill I speak of. But what I seek goes beyond that. This comparison would be placing myself in front of a cliff with my eyes closed. But I'm not scared of taking a step forward. If I meet my end doing so, then so be it. What gets me going are thrills that make me risk my life. Deep inside me, I know that I'd be open to the idea of jumping into the abyss just to see what's at the bottom. You may think that I'm weird or crazy, more like. That's why I did that to Reika. I wanted to see what would happen if I assaulted one of the ladies. I could very well be punished for it, but I want to see what consequences I'd get from doing that. Because if there's anything I don't want, it's to be bored out of my mind.
退屈が嫌で、霊下お嬢様のボディーガードに
Well, Reika's somewhat different to your usual rich kid. My instincts told me that if I was with her, I wouldn't be bored, that my days would be somewhat exciting. I didn't do it because I care about her. I did it for myself, that's why I'm here. I never said this to anyone else. I never expected you to be the first one I'd tell either. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna tell the others or not? A bodyguard with this line of thinking would only be considered a dangerous asset to anyone, especially my client. Funny how I'm the one classifying myself as dangerous.
私に選ばせることが退屈しのぎか
Pretty much. Will she ignore me? Tell everyone else about it so I get punished? Or something else? I'm betting all or nothing here just so I can feel the excitement of the unknown. It's exciting in fact that I barely feel the flow of time itself. I'm entertained.
霊下お嬢様はカイトを許した。でも、私が旦那様に昨日の出来事を話せば、カイトを罰することができる。つまり、実質今、私に裁く権利がある。
True. So, what are you gonna do? Just realized that I'm smiling more than I ever have before. Not only because I'm having a good time right now, but also because I'm leaving my life in the hands of Tsuki, of all people. At this point, I'm acting so absurd that it's just funny to me.
なら、私が教育する。
What? I'm not expecting her to answer that. Say what? She wants to help me? What are you even talking about?
その退屈しちゃう病を私が治す。
How?
それはこれから考える。カイトは霊下お嬢様には必要な人だから。
You can't help me. This illness of mine isn't something you can cure.
やってみなきゃわからない。 もし退屈になったら、すぐ私に相談する。朝でも、夜でも、深夜でも構わない。
For real.
本気。
I'm unable to look her straight in the eyes for a good moment. It's right, I'm gonna fall in love with your ass.
私が魅力的だから仕方ない。
Deep inside, you do have a big heart, Tsuki.
でも山田くんと付き合ってるから、カイトは無理。
Yeah, I'll give up,
早
okay?
速行く。わからないけど、適当に。
Huh, so the thrill of the unknown, huh? Tsuki then stands up from the bed and leaves the room, to which I follow suit. I have a good excuse to kill time again. But talking is hard.
お帰りなさいませ、麗華お嬢様。そしてさようなら、カイト。
Why?
なんとなく
Maybe you shouldn't say goodbye because you feel like it, then just a thought.
じゃあ、いってらっしゃい。
What's next? Kill yourself or what?
はいはい。あんたたちは漫
Is
才でも
this... Yep, this is the... Eat some nuts. Since that is the one that I ended up... That it's the one that that I decided to cut short in the Thai route since it was taking way too fucking long. Ever since the time she threatened to throw one of them at me, I took my distance from these
握
vases.
手してください。
Okay, so this is still an S deal, okay. It's just that I accidentally pressed S twice. Reika's room. Let's go to Reika's room.
ダメです。
Why? Let's just take her statement. For all that we know, she could be the culprit.
冗談は顔だけにして。と
Ouch.
にかくそれは却下です。こんな茶番にお嬢様を巻き込まないでください。
So she knows that there's a stupid fast too. Nice.
静まりですね、先生。
Sounds like it, Dr. Watson.
犯人ももう少し手がかりを残してくれればよかったのに。
I don't think any culprit would willingly leave clues behind just to be found.
犯人が仕掛けた落とし穴があればよかったのに。
What in heaven's name are you on about now? Who in their right mind would leave a trapdoor at the crime scene? Watson then points her finger at me.
あ、先生、この床は犯人の罠だったんだ。この高さから落ちたのでは先生はみたいな。
Not what you say, Watson. I don't think I'd die if I fell from here to the first floor in any case.
実は地下100階まで続いてる落とし穴。
Okay, I'd definitely die from that fall,
頭
alright.
上からナイフが落ちて突き刺さってしまえばいいのに。
You have a death wish against me or something?
さあ先生、犯人は誰ですか？
We're at that stage already? I mean, there's only one person who could have done it. Indeed, the culprit is none other than you, Watson. No, you, Tsuki.
そうです先生、私が犯人です。
That was a quick confession. In the end, the culprit was a cat that managed to sneak into the dimension. That's retarded.
遅いわよ、あや。ごめんなさいお姉様。先生に呼び止められてしまって。
Rake and I have been waiting for Ayan's son for a while. Apparently, the sisters agreed to wait for each other after classes today this morning.
何かあったの？そういうわけでは。
She then stops talking and lowers her head. So something has definitely happened.
少しいざこざがありまして。
Son then starts to explain the situation, saying that Aya doesn't feel like telling us herself.
国道お嬢様はご存知ですよね。
ああ、あのいけすかない女ね。
Where is she again?
どうせ貴様には言ってもわからん。
Okay, my bad. Not like I give a shit about this whole thing anyway.
喧嘩でもしたの？だったら面白いけど。
授業に取り組む姿勢が悪いと少し注意をしたら、口論になってしまったようで。
あやにしては強腰じゃない。いえ、ほんの少し、注意というほどでは。
口論にしても、国道お嬢様が一方的に罵声を浴びせるような形でしたので、先生が心配して声をかけてくださったんです。
教師に注意させなさいよ。
担任は、国道お嬢様の権力を恐れてますので。
Influence.
貴様は口を挟むな。
Yeah.
って生徒の親は官僚なのよ。
What's a bureaucrat? Can he eat it?
この男には説明するだけ無駄ですよ。
そうみたい。
I was being
も
serious.
うそのことは忘れました。帰りましょう。
Today we're all going back home together walking. Mainly because Reika absolutely hates commuting by car.
前から聞きたかったんですが、
As we're on our way home, Sun suddenly starts a conversation with Reika.
何？
初めて屋敷に通された時にも、一度お聞きしてるんですが、霊下お嬢様はどうして？
He asked her the same thing I did on the first day. She told me I was going to do the job. Basically, why does she want me as a protector? She gave me an answer back in the day, but I don't remember it. I think it was mainly because I'm the most serious guy in the world or something like that. Don't really give a shit either
そん
way.
なこと聞いてどうするの？
どうするというわけでもありませんが、
You asked because you hate me, you dingus.
今後の参考にと言いますか。
私も興味あります。あやまで。だってお姉様は今までいろいろな人のボディーガードを断っていらしたし、物好きね。
No, Reika, you are the strange one here. That's why they're asking. But well, I don't want her to be pissed at me, so I'll shut up for now.
そうね。最初は楽そうだったって理由よ。
Don't hit me.
他の堅苦しいボディーガード相手にはこんなことできないでしょ。
それは確かに。
Want me to beat you into a bloody pulp or what?
こんな反抗的な返事も返ってこないだろうし。
褒めるところとはとても思えませんね。
だけど最近気づいたわ。私がカイトを選んだ理由。
She then stares right at me.
まさか恋？
そんな、愛。
Both I and Sun jump and shout at the same time. No, of course
パ
not.
ーソナルスペース。
Yen cares the real reason, ignoring what both of them said just now. Personal space, that's a word Sun and I are very well acquainted with. The distance that you like to keep between you and other people in order to feel comfortable. The perception of your individual area of comfort around others. Basically, it's the physical space that you're comfortable to yield when you're around others, depending on your relationship with them. Aya doesn't seem like she gets
人
it.
に踏み込まれると嫌悪感を感じる。距離感みたいなものよ。嫌悪感を感じる距離ですか？食事をしてると思って。隣に私が座ってたら。そんなことありません。なら、あなたの知らない男が隣に座ったら。それは居心地が悪い。それがパーソナルスペースよ。居心地が悪いと思っても男の人が離れてたらそんなに感じることもないでしょ。はい。私は多分人よりもパーソナルスペースが大きいのよ。だから親しい人間や信頼してる人間ならともかくよく知りもしないボディーガードをそばに置くのが嫌だったの。
なるほど。
それは分かったんですが、それとカイトさんを選んだ理由というのが結びつかなくて、カイトさんを選んだというのが出会ってすぐだったと聞きました。
僕もその点は理解できません。僕もパーソナルスペースについては学びましたが、それらはプリンシパルとの距離を測る勉強でした。プリンシパルの持つ領域を読み取り、土足で踏み込まない距離を保つこと。カイトは距離感を読み取るどころか、考えもせず土足でズカズカ踏み込む男ですよ。
そうね。私もそう思うわ。ただ、こいつ、生意気にも不快に思わせないのよ。
Forgot with your punches already.
僕は不快に感じてばかりです。霊下お嬢様が特別なだけでは。
なんか、私もわかる気がします。カイトさんがそばにいても、不思議と、嫌な気持ちになりません。でしょうね。私じゃなくてこいつが特別。多分、そういうことね。
I don't really get what she's on about, but whatever floats her boat. I definitely feel uncomfortable if I had someone around me 24/7. What are you looking at me so teary-eyed for?
涙目なんかじゃない。
あんたの特性を見抜いて引き入れた私に感謝しなさい。
Yeah, sure. Maybe, yeah, if I had been really desperate about my situation back in the day and wasn't intending to give up on the academy, but then she's probably right. Too bad I wasn't looking forward to spending another 3 years here, though, so I can't say I agree with this dude.
カイトさん自身はそういったものを実感されてるんですか？
Mean the whole personal based stuff?
はい。
I haven't really given it a second thought before you mentioned it, to be honest. I've always preferred people to stay far away from me, I guess.
つまり意識レベルじゃないってことね。
Just like you're not aware of your height nor your boobies.
死にたい？
Your smile's creeping me out.
僕は認めないぞ。絶対。
Why are you so mad at me?
Baka 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 baka!
Sorry. That's what I did to him. I can only apologize.
交換一人追い払えないダメポカードって言われたじゃないか。
Big bonging?
ダメカードって言われたけど、ポってついた方が可愛いと思って。
Blushing, but
次こそはちゃんとやってもらうからね。
Next time, hell no.
なんでなんだよ。
Think with your brain for a second. So what if you successfully protected from danger? You'll only do your job. She won't be impressed because you haven't done anything special. You'll need to find another way to fix the issue.
別の観点？努力はやだよ。
I'm going to beat you. Then what's the point of helping a bum like you? Someone who is also a bum. Hey, give her a bouquet of flowers every morning?
なんか良さそう。でも、僕に惚れちゃわないかな。
Nah, she won't, don't worry.
そんなに力強く言わなくても。どんな花がいいかな？
About Rafflesias.
ラフレシア？
Yeah.
よくわからないけど、僕をはめようとしてない。
How fucking rude can you be? Don't you know what it means to give a Rafflesia to another person?
そんなのわからないよ。
Rafflesias represent endless love, a desire, or a long-lasting relationship. Not the truth.
告白みたいじゃないか。
Nah, it can also be interpreted as loyalty without bounds. Basically, if she tries to call you out, just tell her that it's not love, but it's loyalty, and that'll be it.
おお、僕にぴったりじゃないか。
Told you.
わかった。早速手配してみるよ。
Right before he stands up and leaves, I stop him, though. I want to ask you something before you leave.
何？
You told me there was another bodyguard Kyoka had apart from you, yeah?
ああ、うん。ひょっとしてあった？
Yeah, I saw her. Good thing she didn't recognize me. You better not tell her that I'm here or about my existence in general.
なんで？
Why are you stuttering?
タイはないけど、なんでかなーと。
It doesn't matter. Never tell her about who I am or where I am.
うん、もちろん。じゃあ、僕はこれで。
You told her already, didn't you?
行く。
Fat shit.
だって仕方ないじゃないか。僕が暴漢にやられたって、あの女に思われるのが嫌だったんだ。それに向こうも君を探してたみたいだし。
And that's why I don't want her to find me, you asshole. How much did you tell her? Just my name, I hope. You didn't tell her that I'm a bodyguard for the Nikaido family, I hope. You fucking told her everything, you son of a bitch.
仕方ないじゃない。
Oh shit, fuck! He was too fast and escaped before I could do anything to him. You have to be kidding me right now. If she knows that much, then sit down, stunned. Good thing there's not a soul in class yet, so since they're all eating. That's bad, really, really bad. She has a very short temper. I know for a fact shit's gonna hit the fan sooner or later if she knows where I am. What is it now?
昨日、カイト君に言われた通り、ラフレシアを盛大にプレゼントしたら、僕の大切なフィギュアがこんなになっちゃった。
He then opens his hands to show me what I assumed was a figure before. Now it's nothing but a bunch of scraps. Oh wow, she smashed him pretty hard.
喜ぶどころか怒ってたよ。
Looks like I didn't tell you the correct meaning of giving a Rafflesia to someone.
なんだって
Don't think there's any meaning behind giving them to someone, actually. Like, I know the Felicities are called corpse flowers because they stink, so maybe giving them to her caused a misunderstanding. So yeah, giving the Felicities to Kyoka definitely made him look even worse in her eyes.
ひどすぎるカイト君を信じたのに
Come on, you seriously trusted a guy who claimed to know the language of flowers? That ain't a man.
責任取ってよ強化お嬢様の僕に対する信頼度がゼロになったよ
Okay, dude, okay, I'll try my best to restore confidence in you. Tell me something, though. If it's 0 now, how high was it before?
80
Liar.
70
Keep lying, bro.
20
Bet it was 1.
どこまで僕を見下すんだ抱きつくぞ
Spare me the pain.
僕をあまり怒らせない方がいい
I feel murder's aura exuding from Barata. When it gets serious, he's scary.
ガチコモの AV で何度か抜いたことがあるそんな僕を本気で
Okay, man, I get it, okay? Don't unzip your pants. Could be serious about wanting to do that to me, right? Never mind, you could be.
さあ僕の信頼回復に努めてくれ
Can't you just fucking think of a solution for yourself instead of relying on me all the time?
考えても浮かばないんだ二次元の物語見たく選択肢があればいいのに
You really would prefer to live in a world where your possibilities are severely limited?
だってどれかに正解があるからね
Sad little man. How about giving your all for a while?
心配り
Can't guarantee instant results, but for a while you could try to be extra mindful about protecting her on the way home.
具体的には
Let me see. Can't really come up with anything better than what I said. In the end, he'd only try hard at his job for the purpose of gaining recognition. Okay, now my next option.
何なんだよ
Oh, I know, I forgot about something
大
important.
切なこと
How about you fix your body odor and your foul breath? She's always complaining about how bad you smell, and that's why she keeps you up 10 meters away from her.
今のカイト君でいいのかな
Yeah, that we're only the only one's talking here. He's at least 1 meter away from me. 1 meter isn't that fucking weird. 1 meter is a relatively normal distance. Yeah, talk about that.
でも努力するのは
Just use some mint gum or perfume. That should do the trick. That way you wouldn't have to exert any effort.
そうだね
You don't seem very excited about it. Maybe he doesn't want to hide who he really is behind those
僕って
things.
臭いのかな
You're kidding, right? You do stink.
僕にはよくわからないけど
Use mint, chewing gum, and perfume. Understood.
わかったよ
That for sure will fix your issues at the very least. Before you want to show her how cool you are or whatever you gotta improve the outside first.
よしやってみる
Hopefully this is the last time he ever bothers me. Anyways, what's up with her? I'll ask about Anzu now that I have some
あ
time.
いつ
Anzu.
あ
Damn, it doesn't look very
あ
happy.
二人知り合いなんだね
I guess we are in a sense.
僕はあの女が大嫌いだからどうでもいいことだけ
You ate her?
お嬢様でもないのにしゃしゃり出てくるんだ男がいかに尊重される生き物であるかを理解してないんだよ
You talk about having backwards thinking, dude.
なんか知らないけど二階堂に行くって言ってた気がする
Wait, she did?
多分ね言った通り興味がないからさ
She personally presented herself at the Nikaido estate. Don't tell me she wanted to meet me
よ
directly.
しっと
Turns out it's
ガム
found.
と香水の注文が終わったから明日からやってみるよ
Wait, tell me more about Anzu before you leave.
だから分かんないってば知り合いなんだったら直接話すといいよ
I'm asking you this because I can't afford to meet her in person, dumbass. But Raita doesn't care. He leaves the room humming a song without answering anything else. Tsuki!
お帰りなさいませ。どうかしましたか？
Did someone come to the estate asking for me today?
いえ、誰も訪問されておりません。
誰かと会う予定でもあったの
No, actually, I don't think anyone has come today.
カイト様にお友達がいるはずないので、誰かがカイト様を訪ねることはありえないと思います。
Thanks for the comment, Tsuki. Much appreciated, as per usual. I'll go back to my room. Well, as long as she didn't show up, I'm fine with it. What pisses me off most about this entire situation is the fact I can't do anything about what's going on. It's been a few days since I first discovered that there's someone close by that knows who I am. Today happens to be a day where I find myself more at ease because I haven't crossed paths with her yet, but...
カイトくーん
The moment Aida calls for me, Reika blocks her nose. What is it? Just having her around is enough for me to smell his new stench, one of perfume this time
どう
around.
だい生まれ変わった僕は
He exhales so I can smell his new breath from the gum, but I can't really pick anything. On the other hand, the perfume he's using smells a tad too strong. How much perfume did she
ピ
use?
ンポン
Used too much!
そうかな手にシュッシュッってやっただけじゃなんか全然ダメな気がしたから
But Kyoka reacted poorly to it as per usual.
笑顔だったよ
Wait, what? Can't imagine that smile being anything but a murderous one. Anyway, what did you come here for? Both Rake and I would love to smell some fresh air soon.
あの女から手紙を預かったんだ
What?
誰のこと？
It's none of your concern.
何それ？
He snatched the letter from his hands. I hope you haven't opened it.
中身は見てないからね香水を教えてくれたカイト君に怒られたくないしそれにあの女の手紙なんてどうでもいいよ
I trust him on this one. Okay, thanks.
これから毎日香水をつけて京香お嬢様に恥じないボディーガードをやっていくよ
せめて使う量を減らしてあげなさい。
いえどんどん増やします
さようなら、京香。
Both Rake and I shed a metaphorical tear to lament Kyoka's future death. Now she'll have to endure the crippling stench of the perfume instead of Raita's natural crippling stench. We're in the middle of class right now. After I make sure that Reika isn't looking my way, I turn my attention to Anzu's letter. Of course it's her. The writing is terrible. Let me see. She crushed the letter in my hand, put on my phone, and call someone. No answer. Your phone's out of range. Fuck. I'd like to leave the academy right now, but I can't. Please wait tell Reika. She might get suspicious, and that's the last thing I want. No other choice but to wait until classes end. We turn home at the usual time, but they can notice what's
いつ
going
もな
on.
ら月がいるはずなのに。
Maybe she's busy cleaning. Not like it would matter to me anyway.
相変わらず言うことに人情がないわね。
That's me, baby.
はいはい。
After parting ways with Reika, I quickly pull my phone out, run around the estate, and make a call. Tsuki is not answering, and I can't find her anywhere. Shit. The loudest said was true. Kaito speaking. Instantly answer the phone the moment it rings. Anzi, so it is you. Where's
預かっ
Tsuki?
てる。
If you have something to tell me, you can come here and say it to my
それを
face.
されて一番困るのはあんたじゃないか。
I don't know if taking a maid as a hostage is a better idea. If you're fucked up, you could have found yourself in a cell real quick.
私がそんなミスすると思ってるの？何日も下見した上でやれば簡単なことね。
See, so the moment you knew where I was, you started to think of a way to get
記
to
事に
me.
倉庫外。来なければメイドの命の保証はない。
Got no choice but to go. Hopefully I can fix this mess before someone at the manager finds out and shit hits the fan. 7 o'clock and I finally arrived where she told me to go. The warehouse is barely illuminated. Assume it's where Anzu is. The end of the light suddenly flickers out. But I can still feel that I'm being watched within the darkness. I'm here, where are you? No, she's the one
久しぶ
watching.
りね。こうして会うのは1年ぶり？
I would have thought we'd meet again at a place like
この
this.
1年の間、ずっとあんたの手がかりを探してた。死んでるかもしれないと思いながら、ずっと。
Oh no, Sheila, is she a fucking yandere or something? I feel like she's not exactly moved by our reunion. Or not. As I get used to the darkness, I see her appearing before me. Sorry, but I didn't come here to talk about the good old days with you. I came here to take back the maid you kidnapped, that's it. She's helping me kill times I have to help her out.
変わったね。
You see the hatred in her eyes. So what I have to told you everything about
も
me?
ともと、もしかしたらと思ってたから、私は目を疑ったよ。カイトがボディーガードだなんて。
What about you? You're doing the same
似
thing?
たようなもの。もっとも、綺麗なもんじゃないけど。
Where's Tsuki?
ああ、あの小生意気なメイド。一発ひっぱたいたら、気を失っちゃってね。
Did you pour concrete around her feet and throw her into the ocean or something?
そうしようかとも思った。
Of course you did, psycho. How'd you lure her out?
朝霧カイトに関して情報を持ってる。
そう言ったらのこのこついてきた。
She must have looked into the Nikkaidos quite a bit to pull that off. So what do you want to do? I can't imagine you set all this up just so you could have a friendly conversation with me.
今の私にとってあんたをぶっ飛ばすことだけが全て。
Don't try.
私じゃカイトに勝てないとでも言いたいの？
You've always been too nice for your own sake.
それはカイトでしょ。メイド一人のために本当に一人でやってくる始末。
I could have come with reinforcement for all you know.
確かにね。でも恋人なら話は別でしょ。図星ね。
Whoa there, it took me a minute to process the stupidity of what just came out of your mouth.
チラチラしい。
She's not my girlfriend.
あのメイドに聞いたの。きっと恋人が助けに来るって。
She's probably talking about that Yamada guy. Cat got your tongue?
あれでしょ。あんたのことかばって山田なんて嘘ついたんでしょ。
Why would she even lie about that? She's actually in a relationship with some guy called Yamada.
それが嘘ね。
Sure,
言
whatever!
ってたわ。あんたのことだって。
You're only trying to justify making it up at this point.
言ってた。
She sends a barrel flying towards me with a kick. He's always had a very short temper and snaps quickly. How about you give her back before pissing me off even more than you already have?
嫌だって言ったら。
I'll squish those fat titties of yours. Don't look at me like that.
ここ1年でずいぶんバカになってるから呆れた。
I think so too, it's not too bad.
質問を変えるわ。あんた、あのメイドが好きなの？
When did this turn into a love council session?
質問に答えろ！
She then sends a second barrel towards me with a kick. I can roughly gauge how strong she is by observing her kicks. Let's just say she's someone I'm deeply interested in. However, I'd be unable to answer if you tried to ask me any more than that.
もう十分。
Give her back to me so we don't need to get violent about
あん
this.
たをぶっ飛ばして、もう一度メイドをぶん殴る！
Now Flash closes the distance between us and throws a punch. The way she moves and attacks, she's ready to go all out. Her fighting style is dirty, nothing flashy like any martial arts would teach you. Though it has its flaws, it's very efficient. It's a very efficient style of fighting, and very effective. Why do I have to deal with violent shits like you day in and day out?
お前が言うな！
Whoa!
勝手にいなくなりやがって！
I evade a punch, but Anzu doesn't give a damn. She keeps attacking. She's strong, I'll give her that, but I was the one who taught her how to be strong. Everything about her fighting stance, from the way she punches to the timing of her kicks, she learned from me, and that's why I know this is a fight I can't lose. Psych! This ain't the time to fuck around, so I quickly punch her in the gut and dispatch her. Maybe in a fictional story, the writer would have written a more epic life or death battle, but this is how reality is. 1, 2, or 3 punches at most, and it's over.
私はただ痛かっただけ。
So it is a Yandere situation. She then sobs a little and quickly after collapses. I managed to catch her before she falls onto the floor. Sorry. Then gently place her beside a wall. Honestly, I'd be interested to know if she'd be stronger than that Kanzaki girl or not. But I came here for Tsuki, so I have to find her first. If I leave Anzu behind, though, walk your own path. Hoping to depend on me forever only shows how weak she actually is. Search around the warehouse, and in a corner, engulfed in complete darkness, find Tsuki. She's collapsed on the floor, but she seems to be fine. Hey, wakey wakey. Poke her cheeks a little bit, see, it doesn't seem like she'll regain her consciousness anytime soon. You've got to be kidding me. After 2 issues to deal with. In the end, I pick up both Tsuki and Anzu and leave the warehouse with them. Gotta be careful. If someone sees me like this, they'll think I'm some sort of pervert.
ここは
My room. She quickly wakes up. Chill.
落ち着けるか！なんで私と一緒の布団に入ってるんだ！
You looked like you needed some company.
誰がいつそんなこと頼んだ！
You're blushing so hard right now.
照れてない！
You are. Don't try to fucking hide
帰
it.
る！
Home? Where
教
even?
官とこに世話になってんだよ。
So you gave your room for yourself like I have?
ああ、
Nice lie. Poke. I flick her forehead.
ってな。
Raita told me that you crash wherever around town, not at her place, you bimbo.
あのデブ。
Judging by the salary that Raita said you're earning and whatever spare coin you have, you've been sleeping at some cheap hotel for sure. Then dangle a wallet before her.
返せ。 勝手に人の
Whoa!
財布見てんじゃねえよ。
Was just wondering how much you had, chill.
帰る。
I wouldn't move so much if I was you. She collapsed the moment she stands up, and I catch her before she falls. You should take it easy after the beating you took.
離せ。
Sure.
離す
Make up your mind, holy
な。
shit.
会ってでも帰ってやる。
Wait. At least let me try to give you an excuse for what I
嫌だ
did.
ね。絶対に。
You see, last year... She blocks her ears along with her screaming. You really don't want to fucking hear it, do ya?
絶対に聞いてやるもんか。
Okay. I'll never talk about it ever again. Sure you didn't come here because you still like my ass?
そんなものない。私は許していないからな。
Sure, I'll keep it in mind for the next time we see each other. She's the one who came all the way here to meet me.
もう会うことはないかもな。
What? Ain't you gonna try and have your revenge or something?
だってもう戻る気はないんだろ。
You can feel how sad she is just by looking at her. I guess I don't.
だったらもう
So we ain't gonna meet again. Should've just let her go without saying a word. Whatever, she's stupid anyways. She came all the way here just to see me, and in the end she refused to listen to anything I have to say. Stayed in the past and never moved on. Hanzo's resolve is absolute. Trying to dissuade her is pointless now. I leave my room and head towards the room where I left Tsuki. I don't know what her actual room is, so I left her to sleep in one of the estate's many empty rooms. There's the room. Enter the room and it's completely dark inside. I thought she would still be sleeping, but when I check the bed I see that nobody's there. But eventually find her.
コンフィギュレ
She's curled up in a corner like a kid who's scared of the dark. Jesus! She's crying quite a bit, and you can see her visibly trembling as well. Seeing her like this sends chills down my spine. She hasn't even noticed that I entered the room because of how scared she is. Hey, Tsuki! Call for her, but doesn't seem to catch her attention. For her, only the darkness around her is what exists. Anzu do something else to her. I don't think so. I checked it before, and Anzu did indeed punch her in the face based on the bruises she left, but nothing else. Tsuki's so scared of exactly. Touch her shoulder at the moment I do. Her scream pierces my soul. This is the first time I hear her scream. She then presses her back against the wall behind her, trying to get away from me. Tsuki, stop fucking around! It's me, Kaito!
ごめんなさいごめんなさいごめんなさいごめんなさい許してください許してください許してください
I don't know what's the reason she's acting this way, but whatever it is, that haunts her. It's something that happened in the past, just like me. Take Tsuki from her shoulder and force her to come closer to me and attempt for her to regain her sanity. She doesn't even care about who I am. She's scratching my arms and kicking me for her life right now. This is when any normal dude would try to calm her down with some fancy wordplay, but I don't have time for that shit. Fucking stupidest! I grab Tsuki's head with both my hands and force her eyes to have mine as the only field of vision. Our faces are so close to each other right now that with one wrong move we would kiss. Shut the fuck up already! If you don't, they ain't holding back! Then close the distance between us even more. Bonk. Our lips don't end up touching each other, but our foreheads do. She groans the moment I hit her. I bet my headbutt hurts like a bitch! My words ain't gonna make her regain her senses. A little violence will do the trick. If you're trying to tell me something, I don't understand you! I headbutt her for a second time. Good to know! Now she regained her senses, I push her away from me. So you're back to normal.
カイト、私は。
電気くらいつけなさい。大丈夫？月。
はい。問題ありません。
Tsuki looks at me for a moment but quickly leaves the room, wanting to run away from Reika and I. What happened just now?
あの子、暗闇では眠れないのよ。
Really no.
だから驚いたんじゃないかしら。
Tsuki's just like me. Though fear of the dark is way worse than mine
今
is.
日は随分と大変な一日だったわね。
What do you mean?
一応お礼言っとくわ。
What are you talking about? I'm trying to play dumb, but I have a feeling it ain't gonna work with Reika. Mainly because when I came back home with Anzu and Tsuki, Reika was already waiting for me at the entrance. Reika knew that something was going on the moment Tsuki didn't come to greet her today. I appreciate the fact that she didn't call the police and turn it into a bigger shitstorm than it already has been. She...
今日のことには感謝してる。あんたが原因で起こったことだったとしてもね。でも、ここから先は何も言わないで。あんたが今日見たこと聞いたこと、月に関することは全部忘れてほしい。私も。あんたの絡んだこのことを忘れるから。
Huh, so she isn't gonna ask anything about Anzu. So I should stay the hell away from her?
今は好奇心が活発になってるから、ちょっと月のことを知りたくなってるでしょうけど、すぐ、どうでもよくなるはずよ。明日にはいつもの月。そうでないと。
I thought people like you wouldn't have issues like those, but I guess I was wrong.
人は大抵どこかに暗い闇を抱えてるのよ。
Indeed, everyone has their own issues, I suppose. Only let a select few people look into those problems of ours. Tsuki and I aren't meant to know about each other's
もう
issues.
一つ。一
Whoops,
間
what is that?
違っても、月を好きにならないでよ。
Instinctively laughed to her assertion.
冗談なんか
What the fuck is
じゃ
that?
なく、絶対に。
Don't worry, it'll never
ならいい
happen.
の。それ
And someone that has endured years and years of physical and mental training. Keep my calm even in the most dire of situations. So tough that even if I was left for a week without eating or drinking, I'd be able to survive just fine. I know you might be impressed by now, but even the most resilient and exceptional individuals need their days of rest as well. It applies to me and to everyone else on this planet. I bet even Yuki, who's a machine, has his days to rest too. Everything and everyone dies at some point, and I'd rather live a long life if possible and spread myself to the least amount of stress possible. Stress kills, after all. So having said this, basically, I'm not gonna protect you anymore for today.
いきなり職務放棄？
It's not like I'm technically employed, but pretty much that, yeah. It's after school. So Reika and I were making our way home. I told her that I would skip doing my work for the
この
day.
辺りは治安が安定してるとはいえ、またボディーガードにあるまじき発言ね。
I'm a bodyguard, but I'm also human, and I get tired like everyone else. Not like the other people either. I need this more than your average Joe. It's not like you'll get assaulted either way, so why not? When it comes to ladies of Reno, I can't really remember the last time circumstances required a heavy need to protect any of them. Personal issues tend to be the things they're more worried about rather than being protected from danger. These girls have their future safely set in stone anyway. Anyone who underwent heavy training knows that being around these girls all the freaking time would eventually lead to you mellowing out and shut the fuck up at some point. I do this for that as well. Wouldn't like anything weird to happen while I'm open for attacks.
自分の中で都合のいい解釈してない？
Nice
ま
one.
あこの間みたいなことはまずないでしょうけど。
What do you mean?
もう忘れたの？繁華街でのことよ。
No, I haven't. I've investigated that quite a bit after it happened. 3 guys just snatched her in the middle of the street at noon while everyone just stood there idling. I looked into their identities and how they were caught, though, through some websites. As far as I could gather, all they wanted was to extort cash from her for her ransom and nothing else. The police were extremely suspicious of how they managed to pull off what they did at noon despite that. Obviously, they'd be. Even if the kidnappers looked into her and knew her movements more or less, there's still a lot of things that are left unexplained. Like, for example, how they managed to kidnap her at the exact time the Academy's opening ceremony was held. They should have assumed that Reika was going to be inside the Academy, but they somehow knew she'd be outside alone, loitering around. The information that the investigators could squeeze out of them was that there must have been someone who sold off that info to them, which means that there's a chance a conspirator might be at large. Knowing that, I been overly cautious for some time now, for quite some time, even ever since I started guarding her. Nothing outstanding has happened so far, though. After being permanently on edge for days, I'm just tired, and that's why I'm asking for some rest
具体
now.
的にはどうして欲しいわけ？
No particular reason, just let me be for this weekend. Just have to stay inside the house, shouldn't be too much to ask for.
私が出かけるとしたら？
Either exert some self-restraint from going out or ask another guy to protect you. Or I'll go alone.
すごい物言いね。
You know how worried I'd get if you got kidnapped again.
いいわ。休日はおとなしくしてあげる。
Well, I wasn't expecting you to accept so easily.
あんたが日頃どれだけ気を配ってるか、これでも分かってるつもりだしね。
So she knew all along, wasn't expecting her to. Oh there, is that bracelet a tech? Do I have to remind you what that compared to the rest of my class? I'm pretty shit at staying on my toes day in, day out.
前から思ってたけど。
She then looks into my eyes
あん
intently.
た、どうして自分を低く見せてんの？
Huh?
私だけじゃないけど、ボディーガードって人種を少なからず数百人以上私は見続けてきたわ。だから、匂うのよ。
The meat's super hot today for lunch. Damn, wasn't expecting you to sniff my font.
あんたのボディーガードとしての素質。
Please stop, you're unsettling me. You overestimated me a lot. I'm just a complete and absolute living failure, nothing
ム
else.
カつくわね。いい加減。ここまで言ってもあんたの主である私には話さないってわけ？
It's something not worth talking about in the first place. In any case, thanks for this weekend in advance. Much appreciated. I'll end the conversation here and now.
わかったわ。
Nice, you realized that digging further would be a waste of time. After they've exchanged, we keep heading towards the mansion without saying a single word to each other. Ti amo! Ti amo!
カイト様、どういうおつもりなのですか？
Tsuki, come, let's say it together. Ti amo!
いやー、も？
Wrong. You roll your tongue and shout out loud to convey your feelings. I then do what I just told her and boldly declare, Ti amo!
遊んでる場合じゃないんです。
I'm not kidding around, though. It's just one of the lines of a novel I happened to read yesterday. It's what the protagonist said to his newlywed wife during the most iconic
そ
scene.
んな変態みたいなことしてないで、早く霊下お嬢様を追いかけてください。
What? Wait, now you mention it. She left not so long ago, right? Last weekend. Afternoon to be
今日
precise.
はカイト様がボディーガードをお休みすることになっているとおっしゃっていましたが、初耳です。
That's true, though. I reiterated to put on a necktie.
お嬢様がお出かけになるというのに、のんきにテアーモテアーモ言ってないでください。
Wrong. It's Ti amo?
何でもいいですから、急いでください。
No. Reika told you already. It's my free day and I intend to make the most out of
お
it.
一人で出かけられたんです。
Figured as much. I bet you proposed to go with her, but she said no, right?
カイト様以外は連れて行かないと。
Being popular has its
寝
downsides.
言は寝てから言ってください。今ならまだすぐに追いつけると思います。
I don't know how many times you're gonna make me say it, but I'm not going. It's my free day.
認められません。
Good for you. Like I care anyway. I think I'd let everyone know this day in advance so you wouldn't get your panties in a bunch once it became reality. She went out completely aware that she'd be alone. So why do you care so much? She didn't call for me for a reason.
ボディーガードとしての自覚が足りないにも程があります。
You must know all about that, little maid. I then plucked the charger from my phone and stuffed it into my pocket. Anyways, are you free today? Let's have a date, you and
何
I.
ふざけたことを抜かしてるんですか？カイト様が行かないというなら、急ぎ私が後を追いかけます。
If you act on your own, she'll get furious.
霊下お嬢様に見つかれば、間違いなく追い返されます。
Then just stay here
気
and...
づかれないように追いかけて、お守りします。
protect her. I don't know if you'd even be able to put up a fight, to be honest.
少なくとも、霊下様を追おうともしないどこかのボディーガードよりは役に立ちます。
Not a horrible ring to it. That'll mean that you're gonna skip your duties here at the mansion and someone else will get mad at you.
霊下様が無事に帰られるのであれば構いません。
Damn, that loyalty of hers is worth praising. I'm sure you could reserve some time on your busy schedule to go on a date with me.
もういいです。失礼します。
Wait. Grab her arm as she tries to get out of the room.
話してください。
Can't you just let her be? She's not a child. She can leave the house to go for a walk for just fine.
見損ないました。私の中でカイト様の評価はちょうど崖から転落したくらいのものでしたが、今ではもう断崖に叩きつけられて死に上がりました。
That's indeed an irredeemably low value you're burdening me with, alright?
失礼します。
Well then, take a shallow peek out of the window. It's been a while since I saw Reika leaving the estate, which means I should get going. I then slowly open the door to my room, and when I get out, I spot Tsuki sprinting away through the corridor. So she's actually going after Reika. I'll have to make some changes to the plan, but apart from her, everything's going according to my expectations. Tell Tsuki. Nowadays, no one would bat an eye if they saw someone like her running along the street clad in a maid outfit. Most of the people are aware that there are actual maids in the safe zone, and seeing them in a commercial district buying stuff for their households isn't a strange sight to behold. However, well, the way she moves definitely makes her stand out. She's stealthily moving from one position to another, behind a telephone pole, behind a car. It's like she's just asking to be caught. Can she just walk like a normal person? I was intending to let her do whatever she pleased, but at this rate she might get found out, and consequently that would also apply to myself. I don't know if voicing your own sound effects on every step is the best idea, to be honest. She shrieks as she quickly turns
どうして
around.
ここに死体が
So I'm still dead to you, I see.
結局心配になって追いかけてきたということですか
Nah, I was planning to do this for quite a while now. I then explained to her what my plan is all about, which makes her realize that I'm not a corpse after all.
霊下お嬢様を一人きりで外出させ犯人を誘い出す
Basically, I think there's a possibility there's a mastermind behind what happened back then, so I wanted to give this a try, you feel me?
ふざけないでください。それならより一層危険です。こんなおとり捜査のような真似は即刻やめてください。
If someone tries to attack her, I'll just pop in and save her easy peasy.
簡単に言って、これがどれだけ危険なのかわからないのですか
Yeah, I know it's risky as fuck. I know that letting someone walk around alone is a perilous affair in these trying times that we live in. I can imagine how perilous it'd be for an ordinary person, and even more so for a member of a rich family. Desperate situations require desperate solutions, though. It's the best way to know if someone's still after her ass or not.
それがわかってるなら、どうして
Yeah, I mean, isn't it thrilling in a way?
最低
Yeah, I can't deny that. In any case, you should go back home.
絶対に嫌です。今からお嬢様を連れ戻します。
I don't think you have enough authority here to make that sort of decision.
そっくりそのままお返しします。
Are you a kid that goes around saying no you now or what?
今すぐに連れ戻して。
She then stands up and blows her cover, but right before she sprints towards Reika, I grab her arm and stop her. I do it with enough strength so she can't shake me off again. Very well, I'll tell you everything.
今さら何をですか
It's about what I talked about with Reika some
あ
days
なた
ago.
が非番などというありえないことを言い出した時の話なら聞きたくない。
Nah, what we talking about after
そ
that?
の後、
あんたどうして自分を低く見せてんの
Huh?
私だけじゃないけどボディーガードって人種を少なからず数百人以上私は見続けてきたわ。だから匂うのよ。
The meat's so bad for had today for lunch. Damn, wasn't expecting you to sniff a
あん
sniff
た
a
の
farts.
ボディーガードとしての素質
Please stop it. You're unsettling me. You overestimate me quite a bit, and I'm just a complete and absolute living failure, nothing
ム
else.
カつくわね。いい加減ここまで言ってもあんたの主である私には話さないってわけ
If it's something not worth talking about. In any case, thanks for this weekend. Much appreciated. I'll end the conversation here and now.
わかったわ。
Come on, don't look at me like that. There's a reason I'm asking you for this arrest.
考え
I believe there's a chance there could still be a conspirator behind your kidnapping at large.
それ本当なの
I can't confirm it if it's true or not, but there's a possibility.
それでその話と非番がどう関係するの
When the weekend arrives, just go out, and when Tsuki asks you why you're going out alone, tell her that I'll be off duty for that
あ
day.
の子怒るわよ。
I intend her to.
合図
Once you go out, Tsuki's probably gonna freak out and rush
それ
around.
は間違いないでしょうね。
Once she comes to my room, that'll be a sign for me to prepare and follow you.
つまりボディーガードを連れてない状況であれば黒幕が私を狙ってくるかもしれない。
Yep, the chance would increase if you weren't around with me. If nothing happens, then there won't be a need to worry about either of us. And this will prove that there is no conspirator behind it.
そういうこと。
If you don't like the idea, then there's no need to go through with it. Even if I were to tell you, I'd be lying if I said it wouldn't be dangerous.
いいわ。普通なら絶対引き受けないでしょうけど。私も黒幕って存在に興味がないわけじゃないから。
Wouldn't expect anything less from the troublemaking lady herself.
街を出歩くときは好きに行動していいのね。
Yeah, just behave like you'd usually do if someone's truly after your ass. I don't want to let him know that I'm telling you both by you acting out of line.
わかったわ。
霊下お嬢様までこんな危険なことは。
She's a lady to be reckoned with. Now that you understand what's going on, let's go home already. I don't know if I was the one who proposed the idea and understand why you'd come to hate me for
つ
it.
いていきます。たとえ霊下お嬢様が許可しているのだとしても、これが危険であることは絶対に変わりません。
I don't know what you intend to accomplish by tagging along, to be
納
honest.
得していただけないなら、やはり止めます。
Alright, alright. I don't want her here, but her stealth abilities are first class, so that's her saving grace. She can hide her presence so much that even I have issues detecting her sometimes. We should think of an inconspicuous conversation to have to not stand out in the crowd.
そんなものは必要ないと思いますが。
It's just a
わ
case.
かりました。では、てめえ丸棒だな、と言ったら、俺はただの密売人さ、と言い合うことにしましょう。
Sure, if you prefer to be the talk of the town, be the center of attention immediately, we can do that.
不服ですか？
Let's talk about something simpler.
例えば、
Let me see, you can say ti amo and I'll answer with merda.
意味がわかりません。
The fact that you're even pronouncing it wrong pisses me off a bit. It means I love you in Italian.
なんて恥ずかしいセリフを言わせてるか。
It's just an alibi conversation. No one will understand us, so who cares?
いいでしょう。ということは、さっきのメルドリーノという
Nah, it's shit.
軽やかで爽やかな言葉は、ああ、あなたは美しいといった感じですか？
Basically.
まったく、なんという告白ですか。でも私には好きな人がいるので。
She sure likes to make up situations out of thin air. I never confessed to her, and now she's friend-zoning me. By the way, just so it's clear, merda means shit in Italian. What?
霊下お嬢様がいません。
When
ど
she
う考えても合言葉を考えてた間にです。
then breaks to a sprint that I follow suit. Once we arrived at Commercial District, we somehow managed to find the Reika amongst the crowd. Jeez, I was close. We almost completely lost her because of you.
人のせいにしないでください。それよりも、こんなに堂々と歩いて平気なんですか？
Can't follow what you
霊下お嬢様はご承知でしょうが、本来の目的である黒幕に怪しまれるのでは？
Nah, this is the best course of action we could have taken. If I was the mastermind, I'd have my focus placed on the Reika for sure. Of course, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be aware of my surroundings, but if I saw two randoms trying hard not to be seen, I'd be wary. That's why we gotta try to act natural.
なぜか。
When you're on edge about your surroundings, you always look for people who are also clearly on edge. If we were placing our entire focus on Reika, we'd eventually stand out to him and would be found out.
そういうものですか。
Basically.
しかし、自然にするというのも難しいですね。
You have a point. Keep following Reika without saying a single word to each other. So, like, we need to stay quiet. In fact, we'd blend better with the crowd if we were talking, but I can't come up with any topic of conversation either. We've talked quite about at times already, but most, if not all, of these conversations were just banter more than anything else. Now, I can't find it within myself to talk about something relatively normal with her. Actually, I've been curious about one thing ever since I started my second year in the North.
はい。
I've always found it surprising how the ladies talk way more normally than I would expect. They're obviously way more polite than your average high school student, but not by much. I was expecting them to articulate themselves way more highborn than ordinary individuals akin to, do I think the Marquess of Doro is handsome? Something along the line of, golly, is that your horse cart? How dreamy.
一体いつの時代の話ですか、それは。
Sorry, but until now, all the knowledge I collected concerning ladies stems from literature references. I suppose that's proof of how much we've advanced ever since those days as a free country. So much so that ladies in general, like Kanzaki Tai and the rest, don't speak so differently from the townsfolk.
今でも伝統を重んじ、言葉遣いなども大切にする学園は存在します。
Really?
私が通う学園なんかがそうです。
Wait, you go to school?
はい。とは言っても、休学していますが、書面上では学生です。
Interesting. That's something about I wasn't expecting to hear. You don't have any plans to go back or
あ
what?
りません。これからもメイドとして働くつもりです。
And your parents are okay with that?
お金が入るならいいと。
Ah, that's quite understanding of them. Hey, look, she's entering that boutique.
どうしますか？
Go inside too. I can enter the place that sells products just for women. If entered, I'd be the center of attention for
こ
sure.
の格好でも問題ないでしょうか？
Nah.
はっきり言いますね。
Just be sure not to cross paths with
わ
Reika.
かりました。
Oh. Make sure that Tsuki disappears into the boutique and keep my eyes open observing her surroundings. I don't see anything that raises alarms. I've been overthinking it all this time. Maybe I was wrong, but at some point the mastermind gave up on her. I could only think of two reasons as to why he'd target her. The first one being the obvious, that she's from a very healthy family. The second one would be because she never had anyone around her until quite recently. Making her quite the easy target, making her low risk, high reward prey. That's why she got kidnapped the other day, I'm pretty sure. Things have changed though. There's not a lot of people on the streets today and tend to be around her now. Even if I'm a professional, I'm still a bodyguard in training nonetheless. Even if I'm not a professional. Which means that trying the same stunt any day after that would pose a greater risk than the first time. Maybe that's why they gave up on taking her away. Maybe I'm just trippy and there was never any mastermind in the first place. I'd like to believe that the first option is what's most likely, but everything so far points to the second one being the correct one. Raise my head to look a little bit towards the street. This part of town is still in process of expansion. A lot of very tall buildings are lined up around the place. A pretty big supermarket with a lot of posters pasted on its wall nearby. They're propagandistic posters. Some schoolgirls appear smiling along with the slogan for the preservation of our peace. Piece of shit propaganda. Makes me want to vomit. Peace is there to preserve. There's no peace in the first place. It's supposedly the safest city in the entirety of this country. The fact that a woman can't walk alone outside safely, and it should speak volumes about this peace they're trying to sell us. Everyone just looks away and pretends that the problem doesn't exist. Place my attention on the TVs inside one of the shops, showcasing some pictures taken from the top of Kyoto's prohibited zone. Some old bullshit as far as I'm seeing. The show where they like to brainwash people into believing that those who live over there are the bad guys and those who don't are the good folk. The reporter is going around town asking for the people's opinions on the matter. Can't hear what they're saying, but unfortunately the subtitles are unclear, showing they're talking about the prohibited zones. Should just be wiped out. We must arrest everyone living there as soon as possible. Shut it down for good. They're all the same dogs with different collars in the end. Discriminate towards those who are just as equal as them. They wish for their deaths without skipping a beat. It's not like crime itself will ever disappear anyway. Current politicians in power have already tried to interfere into that quite a bit, actually. They made big changes to the Juvenile Act, intensifying criminal punishments, installing surveillance cameras, promoting policies, allowing the proliferation of jobs for the police, creating independent protection services. Have any of those things been able to change absolutely anything, though? Can't they just make those bask in glory and boost their ego, when in reality they did jack shit? Here I go again with my stupid fucking rants. I always end up thinking about this whenever I have too much free time to think to myself. cares about what I think. It's like anything will change. Please, Reika, just leave already. Then peek into the place to check on them. Look at things. She doesn't seem like she's gonna get out of here. Get out anytime soon. I'll never understand why women take ages to go to the bathroom and buy clothes. Whenever. I'll wait. It's not like I can do anything about this. Wait for a while, but there's no signs of them coming out. Can't be. Quickly enter the boutique and start frantically looking around while ignoring the shrieks of the annoying women inside. Have you two seen girls with super small titties around it? One's a maid and the other one's virtually a plank with slanty
裏
eyes.
口から出て行かれましたが
I've been had. Tsuki didn't trust me in the end. She thought that Reika was facing too much danger and decided to bring her back to the estate. Shit, trusting her was a mistake. I'm an idiot. If I would have asked what's the most important thing in the world, for me, it would immediately respond. That's another skip already. It's the sumo again. Still remember Tsuki's face when I saw her the other night. Her heart was in shambles, the darkness slowly encroaching upon her psyche. Her eyes were devoid of any light, appearing to be completely empty. Some time ago, I too had that look in my eyes. She ain't normal. Those people who have that glassy, empty appearance to their eyes have given up on life. They are mentally disabled, drug addicts, or those who have been humiliated through violent means. Tsuki's supposed to be a normal person and someone who works in quite the place as well. First, I thought that these issues would have no place in her life if she spent it in a safe zone. But after looking at her eyes, I realized the truth. Those eyes of hers draw me in. I send shivers down my spine every time I remember them. I feel cleansed, even reborn, when I stare deep into them. I know perfectly well how I feel. I want her. Ah! Instinctively laugh at the whoops. More. I instinctively laugh the moment it comes to mind. There's no fucking way in hell I'd desire her. It's just impossible. Whatever, I should get ready to go to the academy anyway. I know I'm lying to myself. I don't know why, but I desire her. I wish I could understand my feelings better. What do I want from her anyway? I don't know, but what I know is that I want her. Fucking gross. Sorry for the wait.
遅い
Reika looks at me with a mix of surprise and resignation. Normally we tend to meet up 10 minutes before now at the front gate to the academy, but I've been late today.
行くわよ
To the academy? To go to the academy. Makes sense. Reika then picks up a bag that Tsuki was carrying beside her and starts
い
walking.
ってらっしゃいませ
Tsuki is back to normal. It's as if nothing happened the other day.
何か
No, nothing.
あんたたち何かあったわけ
What are you talking about?
あんたと月よ
Nothing happened.
そうかしらこれでも鋭い方なんだけどこの間のことじゃないでしょうね踏み込まないでって言ったでしょ
It's not that, holy shit. How long has she been working in the estate
そ
for?
れって私の質問に肯定してるってこと
No?
はっきりしないわねどう考えてもあの時のこと引きずってんじゃない
Maybe I'm interested in Tsuki to a degree. What's wrong with that? I mean, at this point, I should just come clean and tell her how I feel about this whole thing. Hideki nods without saying a single
もう
word.
5年以上になるわねあの子が働くようになったのは
What was she before?
そんなこと私が知るわけないでしょ月を雇い入れたのはお父様なんだから
Ah, okay.
お父様にも同じこと聞くとかやめてよね
Yeah,
そ
yeah.
れと前にも少し話したけどまかり間違っても月を好きになんてならないで
Me fall in love with her? Pff, fucking hilarious.
バカでも何でもいいのとにかくそれを忘れないで
She already has a boyfriend, so I don't really care anyways.
そうよ
Not like it would be any different if she didn't have one.
そう見えないから言ってんのよ
What you mean?
釘を刺す意味で言わせてもらうけど最近のあんたが月を見るねあの事件が絡んでるのかそれ以外なのかは知らないけど
The only thing I have to do here is tell Reika straight to her face that I don't like Tsuki, but I only managed to stay silent for a while. It's not like I have any proof to refute her claims. Could be that I like her, but I really think that the reason I'm interested in Tsuki isn't exclusively because of
あ
that.
まり込まないで。
Told you already, I've got no feelings
そ
for
う
her.
ね。
Then tell you about it, but the bodyguards of the academy have been given an assignment lately.
課題
It's a psychoanalysis assignment. That's why I've been around her more often.
好きを対象にしてるってこと
Pretty much.
それ取り消せない
I already have half of the report done, so no. Plus, I can't change my target of analysis in the middle of the assignment either.
ならほどほどにしなさいよ。
No need to tell me the obvious.
だといいけど。
All I can think about is Tsuki right now. I can't get her out of my mind no matter what I do. No, I can say for sure this ain't love or anything related to it. No fallen in love with anyone so far, and what I feel for Tsuki is the same thing I felt for other people in the past, so it can't be love. If it's not love, then what would it be? What do these feelings of mine mean? What is she doing? What is she talking about? What's on her mind? That's all I can think about. It's all Tsuki, Tsuki, Tsuki. Like puking. I hate it when I lose control of myself like this.
朝です。
セーブされます
Sure is. It'll still be tomorrow, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you next time. Bye-bye.